Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 633rd episode of the GeekVerse podcast. I'm the Clown Prince of Hairstyles, Tress now, and I'm joined by...
Hey, I'm the Adam Hardcaster, Dylan Moss. I don't know what happened there.
Extra H on that Adam Hart.
I'm so used to Kirkland going before me that I was just
Yeah.
caught off guard because he is not here last minute.
I am the original Sin, Taylor Field.
The original Sin. You know what the Sin is, Taylor? I messaged you like hour and a half about the thumbnail, and as I went to share the link, I see no thumbnail on set.
Oh, it's not in there. Satine's going through her sleep regressions. There's not happening before cast.
Progression
During
or
cast,
regressions?
Regression, not aggression.
Oh, so she's
Ah,
regressing.
just trying to like stab us, and she's trying to go to
Oh my
sleep.
god.
So regression.
Regression, yes.
Is this planned regression?
Oh, I don't think sleep regressions are planned. That's that.
Are you saying? I swear he's saying progression. I don't hear
regression?
I don't. I keep hearing a P on that.
I got no P on
that
there.
R. Oh, there you go.
I'm finding no P in the word. It's P-less.
Okay, we'll have to circle back and play. We'll
Circle
ask
back.
her
Your
when
ears
he
are
gets back
covered
here.
over there. You got.
It is, yeah. I kept it just for this because so while Emily, she had her last work meeting because she's officially off work now for 2 years. She was doing that, so I was just hanging out with the girls. And this was the hairstyle. The video people or people on audio have to go look. This was the hairstyle I got from the girls to make me look like a pretty girl. So kind of,
Very pretty.
it's all right. It's not. I'm not going to keep it because this is very tickly. But I thought I'll keep for all live on air at least. But yeah, a little uneven with the Britney Spears pigtails. But I think they did a good job on the front. Like that's pretty equal. I think they did a good job there. And like, look, it's perfect in the middle. So like I could drape it around the microphone if I wanted, you know. But
You could.
yeah. But I'm not gonna because you know we're professionals here at GeekVerse Podcast. Yeah, this is a newscast. Wasn't planned again, but we just keep getting stuff to talk about, so we're gonna do them. We're doing lots of other stuff that we'll talk about a little bit later, and how you can support us and all that good jazz. Will be a little bit different because you know if you listen to the full episode, it doesn't really matter. Cutouts, they'll be there. We're gonna probably do the main topic last, or whenever Kirkland gets here, because Kirkland says he plans on joining the newscast. It's just he is far, far away right now. So, because he is a Spidey boy, but he's also a null boy, I guess. I don't know if he wants that title, but I thought we'll save it for him. So we got lots of good topics to talk about. We got trailers. We got some predictions. We got some BS meter. The BS meter has been piling up. I got weeks of BS meter stuff there. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it on the feeds. Lots of stuff. You guys just did a side quest. I very much enjoyed your episode, just kind of diving into the Ubisoft catalog. I was shocked that Dylan, you went into Pandora there for a little bit.
I did, barely,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
do plan to go back. So we'll see if I have time for that. I mean, a couple new games just came out today that I'm excited for. So I don't know if I will, but maybe.
Maybe over the winter when it's really big and cold, you'd be like, man, I want to go into some warm greenery.
The thing is, I'm limited to this Ubisoft subscription,
Right.
of which I've already canceled. So I just have a few days left before it's out. So it's limited exposure. But you know, I'm gonna subscribe again when
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed's coming out. So I don't know. There'll be time.
You can jump back in for that, right?
Yeah.
You know? So there you go. And then, yeah, lots of TV shows. Rings of Power is happening right now. Agatha and Penguin, which we'll talk about later, starts this week. So 3 big shows happening. And then in a couple weeks, Joker 2, we got that going on. So lots of good stuff and lots of good stuff happening on Patreon. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Trying to think if there's any off the top plugs. I got to do this more often. This is completely my bad. I guess I could throw it for everybody. But as usual, we should promote more. We do have a podcast network. Thanks to every one of you guys and gals and everyone in between that listen to us. We years ago, I think it's 4 years now, 3 years somewhere. I guess it's 4 years now. We've had a podcast network. They got a show every day of the week, sometimes bi-weekly on a Saturday. You can go there. They cover a lot of different stuff. Obviously, I started my Alliance with Chris and everything, but there's a show for Power Rangers, DC, Star Wars, the multiverse, which I'm going to talk about in a second, animation, lots of good jazz. But I will promote that Chris from our Alliance and Joe from Walk Through the Multiverse and on DC Alliance, they interviewed Zack Snyder this week, and it is on our channel, the video version of that, because it is, I think it's next week, his like animated, I don't know if, I think we talked about a trailer. He has it like Twilight of the Gods show coming out. It's like that anime Netflix Viking show or whatnot. So yeah, kudos to Joe for hooking that up and finding a way to get Mr. Snyder on the feed. So yeah, go listen. It's a good interview. They got him for about an hour, and it's you can go and just go download the podcast if you want to. Geek Ultimate Alliance, that has all the shows. Some of them have separate feeds, but if not, the video version's there, and it's doing quite well. So congrats to Chris and Joe for that, and yeah, go check out that and the network. I'm gonna try better to promote that because I feel like they grew on their own, and they it was like send them off to college. There's a couple of years for lots of talk, but I still think before the year's end, we're gonna try and do a crossover episode with the gang. We talked about that in one of our quarterly things. So, but yeah, go check that out. I think that's everything for off the top. So we're going to get into some questions now. I have one question of my own because I had thought about this. It's not like a big thinker, and it's just for Dylan. It was for Dylan and Kirkland, but I agreed with you last week. We were talking about, Extra Life's coming up. We'll start promoting that. Really, I got to find, I think it's November 2nd. That's our 24-hour stream that we do for BC Children's Hospital. We're going to do a bunch of tiers. Taylor's going to have his beard on the line. I'm going to have my hair on the line. Please get my hair off. It needs to go. But we said, hey, I want to do Monopoly to defend my streak. And you brought up, hey, it's a long game. I thought, yeah, you know what? That's right. Deserves its own event. So maybe in the 10-year month, we got lots of fun stuff planned. Maybe that'll happen. I have not played a game in a long time. What is the time on chess? Because I'm not saying I don't want to see it, but isn't that a game that can also go on quite long?
I mean, you can like put a time control on it, which
Okay.
I guess you could technically do for Monopoly, where you.
But
could
I don't
say
wanna
that
do
every
that.
player.
Yeah.
You have, like 20 minutes overall, and so you have to like make your turns
No,
as quick
yeah.
as you possibly.
I want
can.
no excuses for Monopoly.
Yeah.
So,
So I think when me and Kirkland play, like, yeah, we would do that. We would just put like maybe 10 minutes each kind of thing. I think it's called classical format. So we would just do that, and that would be pretty good.
I read something about it was like all games were almost an average of 90 minutes and then maybe 30 minutes after. I'm not sure if Google. I just told.
Yeah, there's like tournaments for like blitz games where you literally have like a minute of like play times. You have to just rifle off moves like you pretty much instinctively. But yeah, like the World Chess Championships, they have long ass games sometimes that last hours and hours.
Yes.
So it's it can get pretty crazy. But I don't think me and Kirkland are even mentally capable of such a thing. So. We'll keep
Especially when it
chill.
happens. Depends when it happens
Yeah.
during the stream, right? I still say 3 a.m. Bust it open. So that's the real money.
When our brains are deteriorated. I think once during the day and then in the middle of the night, if it's just us two awake, we could do that. But
yeah.
Travis, I saw that there are two. I don't know if I told you this, but there are two Monopoly games on the Ubisoft Plus catalog. I don't know if
No, I don't
they're
think we
any
did.
good.
Okay.
But you should look into them because
I will.
I don't know if those versions would work nicely for an online play or something like that.
Yeah, I'm throwing the, no pun intended, but I guess pun intended. I'm throwing the gauntlet down for July 2025. That will be, we're already planned out. I already talked to Dylan, I already talked to Taylor about some things, about some fun things we could do for our 10-year, because our 10-year will be coming up. And I think that whole month we're just going to have lots of just specials and callbacks. We'll do a whole episode kind of previewing the year, but I'll spoil that. I'll throw the gauntlet. Anybody who wants a piece, Hansi, I know you're one of them. Anyone wants a piece, tell me now. I don't know what that is. I will start doing the homework and find out what is the best option. But July, we'll just do a full stream. Whether Taylor's playing or whatnot, I'll get him to host it, and we'll do a full stream of the Monopoly. And we'll, like I said, I'm not doing a whole, only an hour. No, I want it down. I want to be someone there with $2 left being like, oh, could you trade a house? So I will start looking at that. So that's good. Ubisoft Plus has some. So, okay, I will start looking into that.
Nice.
Yeah, as Bob's, we're going to talk about Mickey 17 a little bit, so that'll be fun. Dalton Tolar says, is Kirkland about to come in here like a heel with his Pat Mahomes jersey on? No, he said he's going to save, so Dylan, I'm not sure, well, I guess Dylan and Taylor in the NFL Discord channel, he said that he has officially picked his team because he doesn't have a team, so his team, and the next after 9, he's bought a jersey, so he's going to reveal what his team is. But he hasn't seen the Discord, but we're all very worried. It's like the Chiefs, who are like the number 1 team, just because that'd be a big bandwagon thing. The team that's won the Super Bowl past 2 years. He comes on with the Chiefs. I'm just saying, Kirkland's probably not going to listen to this because he's going to be on the episode later. He's going to get grilled in that group chat. If he comes in there with a Chiefs jersey, it's over. It's not.
I mean, a win's a win. If he beats you guys, right?
It is, but it's just kind of like, oh yeah, my favorite team is the best team in the last 2 years. It's like, well, I guess, but like that's like you weren't there for the journey, you weren't there like, So we'll see. Taylor, you had a smirk on your face. What's going on there?
No, nothing. I just I'd love to actually sit down and properly understand the concepts of football. And I remember I was talking to Kirkland the other day about like, is this like this, like, are we getting into like the playoff seasons, like the Super Bowl coming up,
No,
whatnot.
just
He's like,
start.
no, you got to talk to Travis about that because Travis knows all
Another
these
cast
things.
after 9 when he reveals his jersey. Talk little rules, but one time we'll do a stream. Maybe we'll do something for the Super Bowl. But
Make it an episode when I'm busy, because
Perfect.
I don't care.
You don't want to learn? You don't want to learn with me?
perfect. Next after 9, Dylan's on full football talk. So, and then we got some more questions. Now I will search this. So Mike, you asked Superman. Mike asked who we think should be Jon Stewart, because James Gunn today did post a picture of Jon Stewart. Superman Mike, think the episode, I thought we did a DCU fan cast, and I thought we cast Jon Stewart, right?
Yes, that
Yeah.
happened. Yeah.
So Mike, if you
Well,
go,
I don't know. We casted a Green Lantern, maybe even multiple, but I don't know if that's the same Green Lantern that you're talking about.
I think it was because I thought I was like, this is probably the route they're gonna go with the Green Lantern. So I could be wrong. If anything, I know it's the most cop out answer, Mike, but for me it's tough because like they're looking for a 20 to 30, black African American actor. I know everybody that Rebel Ridge movie is like, I think his name's like Aaron Pierre, like, oh, cast him. I really hope if all these rumors of Hal, who's supposed to be the other Green Lantern, if whether it's Ewan McGregor or Olfon or Chris Pine, I hope they just go like the Superman route and they get just an unknown. They go, okay, if you get one Green Lantern that's a big star, the other one should be just, hey, here's a guy that we think's a really good actor. Could be something like David Cornsweet. He's been in a few things that we've seen, like Max, not Max, what was it, Pearl and stuff, but like I wouldn't have been able to name him, right? So that's like, I know it's a cop out, but there's no one that jumps to my mind of, oh, that's the guy. So for me, I think it's just find a good up and comer that's been in some things that has some cred, I don't know. I think you guys would agree, but if you have any hot takes.
I would, point to that cast we did. Whoever I picked then, that was the best pick out there.
I stand by my pick as well, whoever that was.
Yeah.
No, I think we did. So yeah, Mike, if you missed it, just and let me know. It should be. I think it was a bread and butter. I think it's on the tier that you're on. It's you're a Patreon producer right now, so you got all the tiers. So it's definitely there. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was a phase 3 thing, but it's just DCU fan cast. And we did like the Justice League. I think one day, probably next year, we'll do like a villains for when we get closer to Superman. But yeah, so that's on there. And then finally for the Patreon questions, which you can do if you join Patreon any tier. So this report came out today. It's who knows? It's an anonymous person, but some box office analyst said like, oh, Megalopolis, which is that film coming out with Adam Driver and a couple other people, and Francis Ford Coppola directed it with all his own money, said it has like the worst seeding or worst pre-sales he's seen in like 2 decades or something like that. Yet it's predicted to have like a 3 to 4 million opening weekend, so really bad, right? So someone posted this article, I think it was S Bubs, then everyone in the chat just like, well, I'm not going, and then Patreon Clay posted a friend's gif of him as Joey, and then he looks beside him and no one's in the chair, so he's still going no matter what. I think this is just a ploy to get more people to go, because he said if he upped his tier, because there is a Patreon producer tier, would we review said movie? And I said, well, we're going to talk about this live on air, because I have to talk to the boys, because technically it wouldn't be a retro, because it's not a movie that, usually we've had some years and we come back to it, like even Promising Woman,
people
which
don't
was just
normally
dropped,
come to
but
us with bargains, which I like that idea.
Yes.
First off,
Come to bargain.
Why not throw the option out? I mean,
yeah.
see
So
what we'll do for the money.
I'm in the camp of because that's the ticket right there, pretty much. If he were to become Patreon producer, I would go see it. I was planning on seeing it VOD. I'm not going to see it on my own time or money, but if that's what we do for producers, they pick films or things for us to review, and I would. But I am here to listen to the council on this as well.
Right, because Clay has never been in that tier and requested
No.
a movie, right? So he's never
he hasn't.
technically got one. So
He's
I
been
guess,
waiting.
Yeah, I guess that is like a loophole in the system that I've never thought about before, where someone joins that tier and asks for a movie that is only available in theaters. I mean, here's the thing: this movie is, if it's gonna bomb as hard as it's expected to, it's hitting VOD in like a month, right? Or like
Under.
less. Yeah.
Well, I think so. I guess
Borderlands,
unless
isn't that like already streaming or like this week or something? That's crazy.
Oh yeah, that was less than 3 weeks. The only hang up I have is because the guy paid for it with his own money. He might have something of like, well, I don't want this in streaming till X, Y, and Z, right? So because it wasn't a studio that made this,
Yeah.
it was the guy that gave his own money. So that's the only hang up I could see. Like, hey, even if it bombs, you're keeping it in theaters for how long, I say, or we'll just wait till like the home release. So.
I mean, I'm at the point with it where I would be definitely down to watch it on VOD. I would feel bad
Okay.
making Clay pay for that. I don't know. There's something about me that feels wrong. Clay is one of the longest time supporters that we have, and it feels icky to me to be like, yeah, up
were
your
you-
tier, and then we'll do that. I don't know. There's just something weird about it.
But
to be
you weren't
honest.
gonna. But I don't think anybody but myself was gonna watch it unless someone said, "Hey, you should watch this." Right? You weren't planning on watching it, even on VOD,
I mean,
right?
not in theaters, but I think I was intrigued enough to watch it when it hit streaming.
Taylor, were you watching this movie at all?
No.
No, and I don't think Kirkland was either. So Clay, I would have to ask, clarify, are you meaning, and you can retort to this in the next day or two, and then we'll circle back to it. Are you wanting it to, does it have to be opening weekend, or would it be VOD? Because VOD, I think, that's an on board. If it's the opening weekend, that's where a producer tier might need the credit.
If it's VOD, you don't have to pay for it. Well, we'll just do it. Or I'll say that. I'll do it. I'll do a solo review. I don't care. But if it's opening weekend, then okay, yeah, fine. I'll do it. If it's using that loophole of it's technically a Patreon pick.
If it's VOD, I wonder if he was fine with that. I wonder if we should make that a Patreon movie night. I feel like because there's gonna be a bunch of people that are interested on Patreon, or interested in Discord, but I don't think they're going to see it opening weekend either. So if we all got together, and if it is supposed to be this trash fire, watch it as one. So, and Clay, if you don't like that, if you want a traditional review, let us know. We're just throwing ingredients out there. Taylor, you gonna say something?
I mean, I am leaning towards the opening weekend kind of route, especially because I got the special code here that Travis shared, which means I can get 2 tickets for free. I don't have to pay a cent.
Oh right, I forgot about that. Actually,
Is that because you subscribe?
No, that's through Adam. They did the 2 free tickets using code MEGAFREEADAM. Just enter on Adam, and you get 2 free tickets to go see this
That
movie.
changes things. So now it's just a waste of
You don't
3
believe me?
hours of our
It's-
life. Essentially.
Literally
it's just
right
time.
there.
Yeah, it's just time. Yeah.
Okay, that changes things. That's
does.
that's a new player here. Okay.
How do you think about that as a strategy though, where you get the tracking,
Horrible.
right? like, don't get me wrong. I'm, we're just starting to make films, but at no point until we upload this thing to YouTube am I giving away like, hey, buy 2 tickets to Adrenochrome and get the 3rd one free. It's like, no, we need anything we can get for these films because we want to make more. So for this, it's like, hey, they come back to them like, hey, the tracking's really low. It's this. Like, okay, start giving away tickets for free. I'm not sure if the idea is just to get the chatter out there, but I just feel like that's like a reverse strategy. I feel like maybe second week, fine, but first weekend, it's like, I don't know. I don't know if that's a great idea, but they're doing it.
It's pretty bizarre. Maybe it's like a gambit from the movie theaters to be like, okay, well, no one's seen this movie. It's taken up one of our auditoriums, and this way we
True.
get people in, and they'll buy popcorn, and then we'll make money from that.
No,
And
you're
who
probably
cares
right.
if the movie ticket doesn't make us any money because they don't make much money on a movie ticket anyway.
Especially because I think it has that only one weekend, but it has 1 week on IMAX, so it's taking some of those big screens up in like the States and beer cans. So you're probably right. That's what it is. It's like we need to get people in here to buy popcorn and stuff because this movie's gonna eat it.
Is it out next Thursday? Is that what it is?
I'm
Yeah,
look-
the
I thought I saw
26th.
someone talking about Monday, like a Monday showing for it, but maybe I was just.
There
I
are
might have
early
been skimming.
screenings. There are early screenings for
Oh, okay.
IMAX or something like that, I believe. But the free tickets do work for IMAX as well.
Oof, that's a great deal. Free tickets for IMAX. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then you have to see Megalopolis. So.
in IMAX. Yeah, I'm excited because I won't get to see it until maybe the weekend next week because I'm in the middle of moving right now. But I didn't even know The Substance is coming out this Thursday, and I'm looking really forward to that. And now I live very close to a theater again, so I'm happy. I'm like a walk away, so I'm very happy about that. But yeah, so
The more we talk about it, I'm down. I'm down to do it. Yeah.
The only other time
I'll
that
go
I've
next
seen
week and
this
see it. I'll do it.
happen was for another movie called The Spy Who Dumped Me with Mila Kunis, and I took advantage of those 2 free tickets that Adam offered. So it doesn't happen often, but it does happen. Travis, did you know as well through the Adam app they have a Landmark Extras Add Your Card Number now feature when you check out with your tickets?
Oh, really?
Which is really nice because using the actual browser for Landmark is trash, and if I can go back to using Adam, I'm there.
I will say the
agree.
website is pretty good these days. It's gotten better.
Are those
In
your
my
2
experience.
seats, Taylor? 625.
Yeah, it's holding them for another 8 seconds, so
Look
I'm
at
just gonna
this.
hit book now. I booked
There's
now.
this one guy to the right over there by himself.
That's Francis Ford Coppola over there.
I swear he wasn't there when I clicked in first, so now he was just waiting for someone to.
Please don't tell me the 2 seats are for you and Madison. Don't drag Madison to this
It's two
movie.
free
That's cruel.
tickets. It's
Okay,
well,
that's
who else am I
fine.
gonna?
But then
who
you have
else
to
am I
get a
gonna
sitter,
take?
and then that costs you money.
No. We
Sell
got
them
lots of
online.
sources.
Say you, I'll pay you to take this ticket from me. Clay says, okay, so he's cooking. Yeah, let us know what you think. He's watching. Let us know what you think. What's the best option here? Watch Kirkland come and just shit on this. I've never seen this movie, but yeah, maybe it wouldn't be and don't buy for the Thursday yet, Taylor, because it might be better for us to do the Friday, right? If we're all reviewing Rings, so maybe do Rings. Well, we could talk as a unit, see which day
I
works.
can cancel easily because Adam allows me to do that. So
Yeah,
this is
and
great.
I did find out, Taylor, this is an off-cast conversation, but I just accidentally let my subscription unsubscribe because I paid full price for my
that's why it
Joker
happened.
tickets. I'm like, what's the deal with this? But anyways, so yeah, maybe Megalopolis review coming in the future. We stay tuned. Yeah, let's start with some trailers. Let's do that. We'll go through some easy ones right now because Espo's brought up, so we're gonna start there. Just watch the Mickey 17 trailer. Looks so good. Love the music choice. The movie looks great. So Dylan, this is a movie that I think we were supposed to have seen by now, right? Or was it coming out in the fall? Maybe I can't remember.
Mentally, I feel like I should have seen it by now. That's where
I
I'm
think
at.
so. I will
Parasite
go.
was like a 2019 or something like that, right?
It was, but no. Remember, it had a date and they kicked it to January. We discussed that. And we're like,
Yeah.
bad sign. But I'll look while you're talking. But what do you think about this? Because obviously, very anticipated. Bong Joon-ho won 3 Academy Awards with Parasite. Many people consider that one, if not the greatest movies all time. And stacked cast, passing coming off the Batman. You got Ruffalo, Toni Collette, who's always great.
Yeah.
So, did this trailer live up to the hype, or are you wondering a little worried? It was originally. Oh yeah, I'll look it up. You don't even know S Bubs. Come on.
Yeah, expectations were very, I would say, non-existent in terms of what I thought this was actually going to be about. Of course, the director pairing there, but even just like from the pictures we got, I guess I was expecting something that was like kind of tonally like Snowpiercer. That was kind of what I was expecting, and this is definitely not that. I love this trailer. I think this looks like such a fun movie. First of all, I love what Pattinson is doing with his performance. I don't even know how to describe it, but I love whatever he's up to. Like, it just seems like a good time.
He's busting out some Lighthouse type of voice or something like that.
The music that S-Bub mentioned, I forget if it's from Fallout 3 or 4, but that song just hits for me. Any one of those like classic Fallout songs just puts me in a certain vibe, and that's very different than like the sci-fi thing we got going on here. So that's a nice mix up for me. And I just love the concept. I guess I didn't really like, maybe we've talked about the concept before and I just forgot about it, but the fact that he's kind of being cloned, and then that leads into all these other antics, and just the idea of like testing the limits of the human body and like doing tests, like it just seems super fun and weird. And I think the goofiness of her, like the slight intended cheesiness, is like that actually like perfect layer that it is using on top that is really, really working for me. So consider me extremely hyped for this one. I think this looks like a really, really good time.
Yeah, March 29th, 2024. So we were supposed to get this a long time ago. There should have been a review on the feeds months ago, first quarter of the year. So there you go. Yeah, Taylor, what did you think about this one? Also, we just recently watched Parasite the past year for a Patreon retrospective. And I don't think... had you seen Snowpiercer before?
Snowpiercer.
The movie.
Chris Evans...
No.
It's on a train.
The train. There's a show for that too, isn't there?
There is. It's just about to end now. Yeah. Those are only 2, I think, North American ones. The rest are all foreign films I don't think you would have seen. But
I definitely love a good foreign film. I have not seen it, though. I'll have to add it to the list. I am quite surprised by this movie. I did not have a lot of excitement kind of like going in whenever we talked about it briefly in the past, but seeing the trailer and seeing how the story is going to unfold, it has a very light-hearted, humorous tone to it, even though it's a very depressing kind of concept. And I'm very much all for that. And I'm really looking forward to actually seeing this now, because it seems like it really is turning it around from what I was expecting it to be. And yeah, Robert's just killing it in this role. He's just, I'm loving it.
Robbie.
that's his name, Robert Pattinson, full name.
I think he's doing a great job. This is just a type of character I haven't seen him act out before, which is really nice. I love seeing actors be able to really dive into these different types of roles and really showcase their capabilities as an actor. It's fantastic. And so yeah, I'm just really excited to see the two of them kind of fighting each other and just rooting for our number 17 against, I guess it was 18 is what they were kind of showcasing in the trailer. It looked like
Well, I think
yeah,
our
so
main characters, gonna be
our
17.
main character is 17, yeah, but I
Yeah.
think the clone was 18 because they kept flashing 18 throughout the trailer a little bit. But yeah, just the legalities behind you sacrificing your body towards human advancement, and hey, you die, well, we're gonna clone you and bring you back, and you're just gonna be going through like dying and dying and dying. And I think that's just a wacky, wild concept. And what happens, yeah, when two of your clones didn't die and they meet up? It looked like there was a few scenarios where multiple clones were alive and well, and maybe they were taking advantage of the system. And like there was a scene where three of the clones were arrested. So I'm curious to see what happens in this situation where multiples are alive. And maybe that's why they're trying, like the Mickeys are trying to kill each other, because like, oh, there could only be one of us. It's illegal for multiples to be alive at the same time or something like that. So there's a lot of mystery to this story, and I'm really eager to get into it.
Yeah, I know there will be more, because I hope there's more, because that trailer, if like, well, two can't be alive, and I'm kind of like, well, what's the big deal? You just shoot one and then you go back to regular programming, right? I'm not sure if there's something like, if you kill one out of order, does that ruin whatever this experiment or whatever the process is? Because it feels like a very easy problem to to fix when what they presented in the trailer. And I know, watching Parasite, even Snowpiercer, to the extent where it's like, okay, there is hopefully more of this, because if there's not, then I just go, well, then it's going to be quite hijinks. And yeah, it's funny what you said, Dylan, where you remind me of Snowpiercer, but only in like palette and the world setting, where it is about like the low versus the rich. You know, the rich are high on top and they have these high concepts like the trains and what happens in those trains. This feels like, if you were to tell me, hey, this takes place in the world of Snowpiercer, I'd absolutely believe it. It looks like it could be adjacent, like especially Ruffle. It's more comedic, but I mean, like, just primarily where it is, like, I could see it. But then the second you watch it with audio and music and tone, not at all. It doesn't feel like that at all. Snowpiercer is very serious, very, very dry, not in like a comedic dry way. Just it's a tough watch. It's not a movie that you can just put on all the time. Like, yeah, I'm gonna watch Snowpiercer. It's you got to be in a mood for that. Where this could be, to me, tons of fun. And yeah, I'm with you guys. I absolutely love the trailer. I imagine when we do our most anticipated, for me, this is definitely on there for next year. I don't know where it is, but I think I can easily say a top 5. And didn't know what to expect, especially after coming off of Parasite. I do see though why, not to be like business, apologist or whatnot, but I can see why Warner Brothers, they hired the Parasite director. When they got this, they're probably like, this is not really what we were expecting. And I can see why they kicked it away from award season and like into January, where movies don't really do good. Because I don't think this will be a big mainstream movie, and I guarantee you they probably spent a lot of money on this movie with trying to get Bond on there, because it's just like, oh, well, the guy just won 3 Oscars and everyone loves Parasite. And I think that's what they're hoping for. And I'm sure in the room, when he pitched of like, well, I'm gonna get Robert Pattinson and play these clones, and it's a cat and mouse game about them trying to hurt each other, they're probably, oh yeah, that sounds great. But when you watch this trailer, it feels way more. And like I said, there's one film of his, I can't remember, that I saw, which was a forum, which I just put on Netflix around Parasite time. I can't remember what it was. It was the guy that was in Parasite, the dad, and it has to do with monsters and stuff. I can't remember the title of it. But other than that, I'm not familiar with all his work. This almost felt like some of the trailers we get for Yorgos and stuff, like with Kinds of Kindness, or like God, what's the last one we all like? Poor Things, where it's in a very weird world and very odd type of humor. It's very just kind of kooky and not like a regular, feta joke, or here's a straight guy and here's a comedic guy, or here's a situation of like Meet the Parents. It's just odd people, like Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette are like laughing all over this trailer. Stephen Young, he looks, I don't know, he looks great. There's just a moment where he's explaining that he has to kill one of them and he's like crying. Like, I don't know what his gimmick is in this movie, but it all looks, for me, absolutely great. But I can see why a big studio might have saw this and went, I don't know what this is gonna be. And this is a movie I could definitely see a lot of people going in to watch, and not like my mom being like, oh, I didn't like that movie. Like, I think it's going to be where Parasite, it is an odd movie, but I think it has such a easy gateway of the eat the rich sort of scenario, right? And you can kind of understand the family to a point. Where this, it's a very high concept, but it looks great. All the humor hit for me. I love what Pattinson's doing. He's one of the best in the world right now. Taylor says all the time you got to see good times. Like there's a lot of stuff you got to see in between this and Twilight that's missing out, because he's done a lot of different type of odd characters. Even Lighthouse, right? Like that's quite an odd character.
It's quite an odd character.
Quite an odd character. So it's great when he gets to be this type of weirdo. And yeah, I'm just very excited to see what is going to happen with this movie. Hope it does well. Hopefully, because January 31st, I'm hoping I could be back for that around there, because this is, I think, going to be a really good review and something special. But also maybe it got kicked because it is just a bad movie, and maybe I'm going to be super disappointed. But I don't think so. I think I'm going to be excited for this. So after that, I'll throw a bunch at you, Dylan. So we got Your Monster. We got Dexter Original Sin, just a 30-second teaser, but I had to throw it in there just because I don't know, just I feel like there's some vibe stuff going on there. What else was there? There was Salem's Lot, and that was it because Mickey 17 came out. So and sorry, yeah, the Woman of the Hour. What did you think of these trailers?
Yeah, I mean Dexter, it's just like nostalgia bait, right? Like there isn't actually really any substance there. Do you guys feel differently? I'm curious if I'm like, really, this is how they're marketing this? This is the best you got?
That for me, that's what I was worried. That to me, the first thing we get of this is this dance club music, and it's just very, like you said, it's here's young Batista, here's young LaGuerta. You guys maybe not get this reference, but I said this to Chris because he's a big Dexter fan like us, but he's also a fan of the DCCW, and that's what it felt like. It felt like the CW was making Dexter, and that's why I included here, because there's not much on here, but I just included because I saw his teaser and I went, oh fuck, because I just feel like they're gonna, because it's gonna be like in the 80s 90s. I worry they're gonna go for like that type of oh, look at the nostalgia. Like this just gave me bad vibes. It gave me that, like the cheap knockoff stuff. And even with 30 seconds, it's just, as a first showing of the show, or first look of the show, I thought it was not a good start.
Yeah, I feel like I just want to get a little sizzle reel of like the new guy being Dexter. That's what I would want to see. But I mean,
Michael C. Hall talking over
maybe
him.
this is part of their strategy, is to like not really show him off, because they maybe know that not a lot of people are asking for what this is. So we'll see how that pays off for them, considering that's what they chose to do with the show.
Could you imagine if the new actor doesn't speak at all and it's just always his thoughts, and it's Michael C. Hall's thoughts? Like it's just like people talking to him, and it won't be, but
they could go down that road. I don't know. It's possible.
I agree with you where like I want them, like you cast him, like show some confidence. Like he should at least had a line in this trailer, and he didn't, you know? Or it's a teaser, but still, it's like for the first opening, we've seen nothing of this other than they remade the, waking up in the morning and everything, but we still haven't heard him speak as Dexter, I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. Always thought it was a little glint in the camera that he did there. Classic stuff. Yeah. And then the other ones, I think Woman of the Hour was kind of a weird one where it seems interesting. Like they did a good job of setting the tone, I guess, but I maybe wanted to see a little bit more. I just felt like it was one of those like, is this the only trailer that exists for this movie so far?
As right now, yeah. And I worry it might be the only one because it's not, it gets out in a
Netflix
month.
Thing. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe they're really trying to hold back. I mean, it's based on a true story, I guess, right? That was this trailer. I watched all of them back to back. This is based on a true story, this one?
Yeah. Didn't you tell me about this? Isn't this one you watched a documentary about? Or was that Kirkland then? Because it's a dating show one. Remember, she goes on a dating show.
Okay, see, that's the weird thing with this trailer. I did not even know that that's what this was about. I totally forgot. And I just felt like it was one of those trailers that was like, best directorial debut. Yeah. This is a chilling show.
They're
like,
showing the laurels off.
Yeah, it's like, show me a little bit more here to get me in. But like, honestly, knowing the concept, I think I'm already in. I'm going to be interested to check it out. But yeah, like I feel like for people who aren't doing a Geek News podcast and talking about all these trailers, they might just miss. I mean, I guess it's Netflix, so it just gets put in front of your face, and then you click on it, you see Anna Kendrick, and you just watch it anyway. So I don't know. Maybe it's totally fine because of the Netflix release. I just feel like if this was like a movie trailer, I don't think it would be doing a great job. But once again, maybe I just kind of forgot about that element of it, and maybe it'll do great.
I'm with you. I felt like they were just missing the boat because it's like, one, I was excited just because the concept was cool of, okay, this girl meets this guy in this dating show game, and then there's all this other stuff that unfolds. And then you had told me about the documentary where, oh, it's a crazy story. Where to me, if you just watch this, it's just like, okay, date gone wrong movie. Like, we see that's a dime a dozen.
Look a little
Like,
generic almost.
yeah,
Like it
right?
was well shot and
Yeah,
that sort of stuff.
I
but,
like
yeah.
that shot. I love the setup of the scene of, oh, give me your number. Oh, I'll just show me it. I'll check it's right. Like, oh, you don't know your number, and like that 30-second pause, and when she walks and you see him come to frame. I liked it, but and like you said, hopefully it's just they'll put it on Netflix splash page, directed by Anna Kendrick. She does have like a following, but I just thought for such an interesting movie, that trailer was. If it was just going to theaters, I feel like that's like DOA. People would see them and be like, I'm not going to pay money to see that, you know? But I guess maybe because Netflix, they want to hide it.
Yeah. And then honestly, like Salem's Lot and Your Monster didn't really do much for me at all. I think Your Monster, there's definitely an interesting concept to be had there, but I just didn't really find it that funny, which it seems like it's really going for. So I don't know if that one's for me. And then Salem's Lot just looked like highly generic, you get one of these churned out every week. I feel like kind of thing. So I'm not
got
too
buzz.
into it. I mean, there was a couple good shots in there. The one right at the end when we're looking out at this cityscape and there's just all these figures on different rooftops and stuff. You know, it seems like it maybe has some potential to it, but I think this is seems a little bland for me, for my liking.
Clay, he didn't answer us at all about any of the Megalopolis stuff, but he
Yeah,
did say,
weirdly, yeah.
finally going to take your, I think you should leave recommendation with all this TIFF hype for Tim Robson and Paul Rudd's new movie, Friendship, which, yeah, I guess they have a movie coming out, but, yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he's talking about another Dylan, but I have never watched that show, and I don't know what he's talking about. So, love you, Clay, but I think there was a mistranslation. Maybe it was Kirkland who's into I Think You Should Leave.
I think so.
I've seen like a couple
maybe.
skits, and honestly, I was not really a fan of the Tim Robinson thing. So maybe it's an anti-recommendation. He heard that I didn't like it, and so he's like,
Yeah, just stay away
despite
from
Dylan, I'm gonna go watch this thing.
If you haven't watched Nathan For You, watch that. Watch that.
Nathan For You.
'cause,
I think
yeah,
it was Kirkland. I do believe it was Kirkland who is into that kind of thing.
We'll ask him if it appears tonight. Yeah, I'll go because I already talked about the other ones and just the other two. Yeah, I was hoping better because this is a movie that's been in the can for like a while, and it was one of these things of like I think people were worried Max was getting the HBO. That may explain it. Have a good night there, Clay. We're happy you're here. I think it was one of those that people were worried was going to get a write-off, like tax credit sort of thing, and it didn't happen. But it's a remake to a movie that's considered a classic horror, like not in like one of the big times, but like the old movie has a lot of praise. I have seen it, but not in a. It's been at least maybe 2 decades. I got to rewatch it, so I'm probably gonna rewatch that when I watch this. And the buzz around this has been good, so I was kind of hoping it was like because I remember Evil Dead Rise. Is it called Rise? Right, the new one.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
that it sounded like it had a similar situation, but I was like you, Dylan, where I didn't love the trailer. But again, with the spooky season, and this will probably just be on Crave because it's Max. I will watch it because it's just okay. It's there. You're a Monster. I was disappointed because I'd heard this concept, and that's why I put the trailer in here of okay, the like modern day Beauty the Beast girl finds monster in her apartment, and they start to find a friendship or a relationship. But I will still watch this on VOD, but I guess I just didn't. None of these jokes really landed for me. I didn't think they were also bad. I didn't think, oh man, this is awful comedy. But I just like, I don't know if maybe it's not supposed to be laugh out loud funny. I don't know. I just thought, oh, this was a really cool concept. And then I watched the trailer. It almost unsold me on the concept. I kind of hope that he acts a little more. They showed like snippets of him being like beastly, but sometimes it just felt like a dude in makeup, right? And I'm not sure if it's supposed to be the actor, because they talk about her, she has an ex in this movie, right? Is that ex supposed to be the guy in the makeup and it's like a in her mind sort of thing? That I
definitely
don't know.
don't think the monster's real. I'll tell you that much.
And that's why I could see it still being that guy in makeup. So, and I honestly, I'll be disappointed because I was kind of hoping the monster would be real. I think it would be fun, like to play with that. Like I think that's why we love, or we at least always are excited by the A24 stuff, because we always hear these plots, and in most movies they'll go, "Oh yeah, but it doesn't actually happen." But they go, "Oh no, we're gonna actually do that." And this is the thing. Sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's good. But that's where I'm kind of hoping. But yeah, I was a little disappointed by this trailer. But I'm hoping that when I watch it, it'll be a pleasant surprise to go, "Okay, no, this is a fun movie. So we'll see. But Taylor, what do you think about you got Dexter, your monster, Salem's Lot?
So I'll start with your monster. Now, immediately when I saw that trailer and saw the monster, I was thinking, man, it's our boy Greyback from Harry Potter just getting his own solo film. They look literally the exact same when I'm looking at them. It's crazy.
I'll say your monster guy looks a little cuter, but
A little cuter.
A little more human-like.
yeah.
A little more human-like for sure. Yeah, so I'm not interested in this movie whatsoever. It's not pulling me in. Yeah, I'm just not engaged with it. So there's that. Jumping over to Dexter Original Sin, it's weird to be watching this and these events knowing where we're at, considering he's not technically dead in Dexter New Blood. And it's weird going back to this because I feel like I am someone who enjoys prequels, and I know there's going to be elements that I enjoy from this show because they're going to pull on those cop-out strings that is like, oh, I love seeing like this world and whatnot, and it's going to work on me. I hate to admit it, but
Dokes
it's gonna
fought a
work
few times
on me.
before.
Oh yeah, and it's gonna work. It's gonna fucking work on me. But at the end of the day, like I don't know if this is the show we really, really need. They should spend hopefully a little bit more extra time on telling us how Dexter's going to navigate his resurrection in the new series, but
I think they're making a whole show. I don't think they're going to answer in the prequel.
Maybe the writers of this show shouldn't be attached to that unless they're doing good. If maybe I eat my words, maybe they're writing a good story here that we can get on board with, but I'm still just a little concerned.
I don't know if it is going to be the same. I don't know if it is or isn't the same writers.
I feel like it isn't, but maybe I'm wrong because the shows do come out at different times, so it very well could be the same writers.
I know, same like producers and stuff, but I don't know about writers and everything.
I'm definitely more concerned about the people who greenlit this than the people writing it.
That's fair.
I just want to know the chicken and the egg. So yeah, I don't think I have just producers as of maybe screenplay. Would they have that under or teleplay? Hang on, hold on, last
Teleplay
search here. No, they don't have that. So they don't have that yet. Says series writings credit is Clyde Phillips, so it says one episode. So Clyde Phillips, he wrote and show ran Dexter season 1 to 4, and then New Blood. So like he is like the Dexter guy, but so he has like a hand in this. But again, for me, it's just like what you said, Terry. It's just that'd be fine, but I understand doing this show if you're not doing anything else with Dexter. It's like, well, how else can we use this IP? But ever since they've announced, well, we're doing a Dexter, like he's coming back, a sequel series again. It's like, well, what is the point of this? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just to have some more Dexter good times with him, and I guess he's an intern right now, I guess.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. It's just more good times. And I would rather just get to those good times post New Blood and see what's going on. You know, give us, if they wanted to give us like a young Dexter themed show, then give us Harrison's,
I think they botched that, unfortunately.
Don't call it original sin. Call it like sequel sin, Harrison.
Just new sin.
Like that. New sin.
Just new sin.
Harrison, yeah.
Harrison. I love it.
And the
There you
sin,
go.
like the SIN is like in blood, like it's dripping down, and the rest is normal and everything.
Perfect.
Taylor, when you're talking about prequel stuff, do you think they show away? They're like, oh, if you ever get shot in the heart, this is how you survive at Dexter. Like, they're gonna do that, so that's how we know.
It's gonna be him lying on the snow probably in the opening, and it's gonna be like zooming in from the top down and like spinning around, and you're gonna have him narrating, talking about like
This is just like my first year in Miami, and they shoot him. Harry's shooting him in the heart to teach him how to survive and everything like that.
Yeah. Make sure you get shot in the snow. It's Harrison or
cools your. Yeah, exactly. We got lots of snow here in Miami. Let's make this. But yeah. And then any thoughts on Salem's Lot?
Salem's Lot, I don't know if there's enough substance there story-wise. I think it's lacking.
Really?
But
I
man,
thought this up Taylor's alley.
visually it is. And visually alone, it's pulled me enough to, like, intrigue me enough to want to pull me in to watch this. I think that
was
there's
convoluted. I didn't know that.
A lot of polling.
a lot of pulling. I just think that visually this looks great. The moment that the kid's running and he's in the treehouse and like he's like closing the window latches and you see eyes in the distance and he's like pulling his flag in. Fuck the flag, but you see them crawling on the sides. Like, man, this looks terrifying.
Someone
Lots of
please screen like grab the fuck the flag comment and just that'll get Taylor canceled. Fuck the flag.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't like me in the States if I said that. But I think it visually it looks fantastic. That end scene of him standing there and you see like all like the rooftop ghouls just up there. Oh, there's so many different scenes that
I think
look
they are
really cool.
vampires. I just felt like because they're vampires that would help you out, Taylor.
That's how I was thinking they were
consume all that media.
vampires.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Weeks ago, you're just like, vampires are hotter than ever, and then we went down all the movies that have bombed. Yeah, so I just feel like this is for you.
Yeah,
It'll be on Crave. You'll have Crave for Penguins. So I don't know.
That's true. Yeah. Well, I got Crave no matter what now, thanks to cell phones. But yeah, I think that.
What does that mean? Your cell phone just comes with Crave now?
It does. That's what I was telling you about the deal, right? So.
I have that too now. Cause
you have that too, yeah. Cell phones, man.
And they give you free
Fucking
tickets to
love them.
Megalopolis.
They do. It's installed in your phone now. It's
Digital
like
copy.
Yeah, it's like U2 a couple of years ago or like a decade ago when they like had their album on automatically on iTunes. Do you guys remember this? And everyone got mad. They'll start doing that at Megalopolis. Like, oh, free copy with your new phone.
Takes up like 10 gigs of your phone hard space.
Yeah. Are you Telus or Shaw right now, Taylor?
With my internet, I'm
Yeah.
Shaw. Remember, I signed fucking Rogers
Right,
bullshit.
yeah. I'm making the jump to Telus because they made a good offer, so I'm hoping it's not
They
shit. But
love to make a good offer.
they do, but I'm not a
Free
Telus
tickets
fan.
to Megalopolis.
If you sign up now, we'll give you
Free
three.
tickets for life to Megalopolis.
Yeah. All right, let's take our first ad break, and then we'll be right back. And we're back. So, if you want more of the episode without any ads like you just got there for the public feed, head over to Patreon because that is one of the many one of the many benefits we have on the tiers. A lot of benefits, but ad-free one is usually the favorite, so you don't got to hear anything, especially, I'm sure, with both America and Canada, you're going to get a lot of election ads in the next little bit here. So if you don't want any of those, head over to Patreon, and there's lots of benefits. End of the month, we'll do an After 9, which is our call-in show. Right now, Fantastic Four retrospective is happening, so for the producers, they got it early, but that is going to be exclusive retro, so soon you guys will get that. We just reviewed Promising Young Woman, so you get that, and then there'll be a bread and butter. I haven't told these guys yet, but I think because I want to get ahead of the curve, either this month or next month, we're going to do a Harry Potter fan cast one because they're starting to cast for the show now. So I thought we should do like Snape, but not the kids because those are going to be no names, but like Dumbledore, Snape. We should get on that before they start casting those people.
Maybe
so.
Fenrir Grey Wolf. We can fan
Yeah,
cast.
Perfect. Yeah, get the guy who was in Your Monster, you know? So look out for that. We'll be doing that for Bed and Butter. And yeah, there's some
Bed
changes.
and Butter.
That's a new show, Bed and Butter. We all podcast from our bed. Our
Nice.
partners fucking hate it.
The
It's
same
like
bed, or are we all in our own bed?
our own bed, but our partners
okay.
hate it because it's like midnight and we're like talking about, oh, I think Snape should be played by Adam Driver. And like, shut the fuck up.
I think
But,
Emily would be into that. She would be down to do some.
Not right now. Not pregnant with twins at 12. I tell you that. But yeah, lots of benefits. And a big shout out to our Patreon producers, Aaron Braden, April Darkness, Jack Grant, Muds, Sam, Super Bad Mike, the God Lovely 69, and Jeremy Renner. We appreciate
And maybe
all
soon to be Clay. For
and maybe
Megalopolis.
Clay. Yeah, because he never answered us. But yeah, just like we were talking about, if there is a movie coming out that we in the past you've wanted us to review, or let's say we're like, hey, none of us want to see this, but you want us to watch it, we will do it. The Patreon producers here, you get every single benefit, and you get to recommend something for us to review. So if you have any questions like Clay, you can ask us. So let's go to, because like I said, I'm still leaving this till Kirkland, so we'll kick Venom down a little bit. Let's go to Agatha. I'm gonna laugh if he never shows up, but Agatha and Penguin predictions. Now this will be quick because there's not too much here. This is more just so Taylor can pop off and give us some scenarios here. But I'm just gonna start with Agatha, and I'm just gonna ask Dylan, what is your excitement? Because we started this. What is your excitement for Agatha? I think I know this answer, but
It's at near zero for sure. Like maybe 1 for Aubrey Plaza is where I'm at for the. I know I like Catherine Hahn and stuff, but it's very very low. In fact, we were talking about who's gonna review this episode this week, and I was like, I got a plan. I don't need to make this plan, but like I'd rather make this plan than watch Agatha. So I might. I don't even know if I'll be watching on a weekly basis. We'll see. I maybe just don't want to right now. So very very low on the hype level.
Yeah, I think we're gonna like our plan is to review it, but I think we said like this, in the future we're gonna be sometimes more picky, and if like by mid tier, if all of us are kind of like, yeah, it's all right, we might just do like a final, batch bundle review. You will see because it's harder. Excuse me. If we didn't have other shows happening, then not as bad. But me neither, Dylan. Well, I hope because Kirkland's on the review with me tomorrow. So if not, I'll
That's what he
solo it.
said.
But yeah, he did say that. But yeah, no. Either way, I think if there was not Penguin and Rings of Power, then for sure. But we will cover Agatha one way or another. But yeah, I'm pretty much with Dylan. Where I don't really have much like saying zero sounds bad because I don't necessarily think this is going to be like a bad or terrible show. I don't think it's gonna be like Secret Invasion level where it's like, oh my god, this is really, I just think it's gonna be like a fine, MCU bottom bottom pack. We're at 40 projects now or something. But Kirkland, stop putting your messages in the chat and just get in here. My god,
He's
give your
probably
opinion
wolfing
there.
down dinner, I bet, right now.
Oh yeah. Sure, or he's still driving,
Walking
from
the dog,
Headwater or
something.
whatever. But yeah, no, I don't have much. This show I don't think needed to happen. I'm hoping it's fun. That's the best thing I can hope for, is that it's gonna hit on a thing that, man, every time I watch this every week, I'm just having a really good time. If it's a slog and if I'm having to wait for episode 4 to 5 for it to get really good, no, man, that's not what I want happening right now. So there you go. Matzo Burger combo's being munched down right now by Patzer. We'll get his Venom thoughts. We didn't cover Venom yet, Kirkland, so we're going to come back to you.
We'll have a full belly for that discussion.
Tia, you're not on this week's review, but I'm sure you'll be on maybe one or somewhere along the way. What's your hype level for Agatha?
I think that there's, like what I said about the previous movie Salem's Lot, there is some visuals that are probably good at pulling me in, but there is not a lot of juice there with the story that I'm really feeling engaged with. So yeah, like I felt like her character was easily over and done with in the WandaVision show. I did not need anything else extra than that. I'm sure there is a community out there that is super big on Agatha and her in the comics, whatnot, and they're all about that. But it's not really for me. But that being said, I don't think that it's a con. They shouldn't do the show. It's just having a lot of different content for different fans of the MCU, and that's great. So it's definitely still a win. But I think that overall the show might not do necessarily well if you look at like the regular GA. Well,
The
maybe
only
GA
hope
might
is
like it. I don't know.
Well, I think the only thing they're smart is release this around Halloween time, and maybe they
Yeah.
can glom off some like, oh, I want to watch a spooky show, but I don't even know then because there's lots of spooky stuff going around. So
Yeah.
all right, what is going to be, Dylan? What's going to be the fate of Agatha when this show ends?
Ooh. That's
Where's
an
she
interesting
off
question.
to,
I think
you know?
she'll still be around.
Okay, so no death.
I don't think she's gonna die. I don't really ever see her getting promoted to movie status though, unless we get a Wanda movie, which is we've
Yeah.
talked about. It's like not confirmed or anything like that. That would maybe be the situation. Or what's the Vision thing again? Vision Quest is what it's called.
It's TBA what it's called. It's sometimes been Vision Quest, sometimes just been Vision.
And
Never
TV
Snow or White
movie,
Vision.
Is that they
TV.
talked about?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think she'll just remain as a Disney Plus character.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't think they'll kill her off, but I think just with the changes that they've had recently in between the time of this show filming and now the show releasing, I just feel like we're not really going to see this character maybe ever again, honestly. But she won't die. I just
Whoa.
feel like they might just not do anything with the character going forward.
Okay.
Just
I'm
in
not-
the focus of like really focusing on like the things that make them money and that sort of thing.
I'm not gonna go that far because I feel like there's like even as like a ensemble Midnight Suns, you could throw an Agatha in there, even if she just is like she's like
We've
lives
talked about
at a
Midnight Suns for
manor.
years, though. Like, is that really happening right now, or are they just going to make a million Avengers
No,
movies?
I'm just saying if it does happen, I could see her being thrown into like, oh, we got to go to Agatha's manor to get this MacGuffin, like something like that. Because
Yeah.
like if Red Skull can come back after,
Well, that's
you know,
Red Skull,
50
though. That's like one of the biggest Marvel villains of all time.
but Agatha has in more projects than he is, right? Like he was a one and done, and we didn't see him for a whole decade.
That's the same number of projects as Red Skull.
No, now two though, because it's WandaVision and a show. That's what I'm saying. Like it is now Endgame, but I just mean like
Yeah.
we didn't get Red Skull the show. We got Red Skull
And
the
Red
cameo.
Skull probably appeared in What If at some point, right?
He did.
Get owned, okay? More Red Skull than Agatha.
I think Agatha is probably in What If somewhere too. If not, she's coming up. But
Well,
I don't think she's done. I think it might be dependent on the show because you never know. Maybe the show does take off. I'm not saying to be a breakout hit, but maybe if they go, hey, it did better than we thought. People like this character or like this, or maybe it's the same thing of just if they do because the Brad Winderbaum who looks after Marvel TV, he's still under Feige, but he did say they're still planning on more Marvel special presentations. I'm not sure if that's going to actually happen, but if it is, like I could still see like in the future they do like another Halloween spooky centric one. You bust out Agatha for something, but I have another theory, and I'll save that in a second for another prediction that I do think we'll see her again. But I'll say her fate is just that she's achieved her goal in this show, and she has a new goal by the end of it. That's what I'll say.
okay.
But it doesn't end in like a cliffhanger way where it's like, all right, let's, follow your nose like Rings of Power. It's going to end like succinct. And even if you did never see her again, like Dylan said, you'd be fine at that. So, Taylor, what's going on with Agatha by the end of this show?
I feel like they'll keep her alive, but I don't know if they're gonna pull from her ever again necessarily. I mean, when you look at the characters from WandaVision, Wanda was definitely like the main one, and we're finally getting Vision. Snow Vision, right? Or just regular Vision? Who are we
No
getting?
Snow Vision. Regular
Snow
Vision's
Vision?
dead. He's gone.
Regular Vision's dead.
He died in
Yeah.
Endgame. No, he died in
Right.
Infinity War. He died a long time ago.
Have you
Taylor.
seen Infinity War, Taylor?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Should I watch it
It's
before
pretty,
I
it's decent. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Top half MCU.
Yeah, I think that they're gonna keep her alive, but they're not gonna pull her in for anything really in the future unless they really, really need to. Maybe they would save her for the kind of role that Red Skull had. We're gonna get like in the next 10 years the next Avengers film, and they're just gonna go to some
Catherine
random
Hahn.
planet, and Catherine Hahn's be floating in, like Clint Barton, like something like that. Like, I don't know. But I just,
Bonnie Barton.
yeah, there you go. I just don't see them really tapping into this character much, especially if the show does not perform and the numbers are not standing up as high as they were hoping. Then I think that they might just leave things off to the wayside.
Okay. So are there any MCU characters you think could appear in here?
MCU characters. I don't know who. I needed a
Scarlet
who?
Witch?
No, she's not in here. Definitely
Okay.
not. If
I
she
don't-
was, they would have spoiled that in the marketing, I think.
Maybe they will if it does really bad. No, I don't think she's here. I think there's a presence, but I don't think she's there as far as new scenes filmed, I'll say. It's the worst kept secret, but what do we think about I don't know, what they're gonna do with Wanda's son? Billy's in this thing. He's all grown up now. What are they gonna do with that?
He's in it?
Okay, maybe it's not the worst cast secret. we'll talk about that another time then. Tune into our Agatha reviews. But one of Wanda's kids is in this.
Spoiler.
Yes. They're grown up.
Is that in the marketing, or how do you know that?
It's just been a unspoken news. I
Guys
think
out
we've
here watching hand
did you know
cam
this, Dylan?
footage.
I think we've talked
Absolutely
about
not.
this on air when the person got cast, and I think it was just that long ago. But one of her kids is in this all grown up, so they survived whatever happened, mumbo jumbo in Westview. And I imagine the other one is because Tommy and Billy are in the Young Avengers in the comics. So that's the idea.
Well, there
and
you
there's
go. That's a good one.
there's been recent rumors of Vision Quest possibly featuring the West Coast Avengers or stuff like that. So the idea is maybe they could be doing some other small team. So, yeah. What about Wong? I think Wong always has potential to pop up and stuff, and especially Supernatural. He's my top candidate to pop up in this.
Really?
Out of for MCU characters, someone that's not just God, who's the guy that was in Incredible Hulk, but he's in the Spider-Man movies? He's a teacher. He has a beard and he has long hair. He's he's the guy who his wife said she was snapped, but he found out he
I know
actually.
what you're talking about. I don't remember his name though.
So not a character like that. I'm sure some other MCU character could pop up where it's we've seen. Remember, the Spider-Man do a flip, and then he was also in Shang-Chi. I'm not counting those guys. I'm saying characters we know by name. I think Wong's the top candidate.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I like that.
What about what was his name?
Scar.
BJ. What was the guy's
BJ.
name? Quicksilver.
Boner.
Oh, Ralph Boner.
Ralph Boner.
I actually don't think that's out of the realm of possibility, unfortunately, because they're gonna go back to Westview, and you'd imagine like they have to like for Agatha's spell to be broken, and the mom from the '70s shows in there, so I could see him being in there. Which I really, unless they're doing some retconning, I really don't want that. So
I feel like I needed to rewatch the trailer before this. I'm like, I have no idea what's going to happen in this show. I did not know a lot of this was happening, so it's hard for me to make any viable predictions here. But I like the Jimmy Woo, or what about the scientist lady who was in WandaVision, or WandaVision, who is like also in the Thor movies.
God, what is her name? I know it's
Like,
Kat Dennings, but what is her?
Yeah. I
character's
could see
name?
her popping up. That would make sense. What else is she gonna do in the MCU? You know?
Yeah,
Darcy,
Jane's-
right?
Yeah, Jane's dead,
Darcy.
right? So she needs something. She needs somebody to hang on to. But
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be mostly because they go on this like witches road and supernatural stuff. So I don't know. Maybe they bump to it at the beginning or at the end. But
Get Eric Selvig in there. Let's bring him back.
this should bring him back. Yeah. What about he's not an MCU character yet, but I'm sure he will be. Do we finally get Dylan? You weren't around for this craze at the midnight reviews, but Taylor, Mephisto. Do we get some Mephisto action in here? Everyone
This
thought
would be the
WandaVision.
place. This would be the place. And I remember like what show was it again? Because
It was WandaVision.
It was WandaVision.
There's
Yeah,
so many
every night.
Easter eggs, and the creators like, yeah, we never were planning for Mephisto, but everyone thought because he has a lot of ties with Wanda and her kids and everything. So
That was when was it Far From Home was releasing during WandaVision, and there were like the Mephisto rumors circulating around there too. I thought there was like people holding like posters of
No,
Peter
it wouldn't have
Parker
been
with
Far
like
From
devil
Home.
horns.
well, that was for No Way Home. I think that
It
was
was No
just
Way
a,
Home,
I think it was
okay.
just a meme. I don't think anyone thought. Well, I guess the reason people might have thought Mephisto was in there because in the comic books he does make a deal with Mephisto, and he made a deal with Strange. So I guess there's probably a Mephisto theory. So
That makes sense.
I'm down to be back into like every night though, thinking like, oh, is this Agatha got Mephisto in there? Because you get Mephisto, then I feel like we're one step closer to like the Rider maybe being
Oh,
in
yeah.
here at some point. So
Espubs is right. Isn't the rumor now that he's an Ironheart? He is. That's the rumor.
Mephisto is an Ironheart.
Yeah, played by. I won't say because I already maybe spoiled the Wanda Kid thing, but I think they could allude, or that could be, and we'll transition this now. An end credit for this show is something to allude to Mephisto that connects it to another show. But I do think it's that, or to me, the end credit is Taylor will appreciate this. It's gonna be Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, where it won't be it won't be Wanda, but the same way where they're like, we got to go get Jack Sparrow. It's gonna be Agatha. Wanda's son, and be like, we got to get, Wanda, and she's gonna
So
walk
tell
down
to
some.
me.
What happened to my vision? And eats dead vision. But I think that that's why I was saying Agatha will have a new goal, and I think it will be to find Wanda. And I do think we're gonna talk about on the BS meter. There's another rumor about that for the Wanda thing. I do think that movie will happen. If that happens, I think Agatha's like guaranteed to be in that movie. I think if there's a Wanda movie, I think they'll bring her back for that. So
Once again, I just feel like different eras. I feel like when this was being written and filmed, like maybe they still have it in there because like that's what was filmed.
Mhm.
But I feel like by the time we get to whatever Wanda's doing next, I don't think they're gonna want to mess around with that. They're just going to focus on the big cheese, focus on the stuff that matters.
but even if Wanda or like Agatha's
I
just
am
there to
expecting.
like,
I don't know if you were gonna ask like the viewership on this. I'm just expecting the show to do nothing for them. That's where I don't think they're gonna want to focus on it in the future.
nothing. Well, I mean in the sense of like Agatha might be like, I know like she might just be in 2 scenes to help resurrect Wanda or do some sort of spell or help reunite Wanda with her kids. Like I don't think she'd be a supporting character, but something like that. That's what I think. Do you think the show will do worse than Ms. Marvel?
I think that's the one it will do better than.
I agree. Because
Or
everyone,
Miss Marvel, but no higher.
yeah, because Agatha had that hit song, right? So that's the thing that people still go, oh yeah, I like, because that song like charted and did very
Yeah,
well
I mean, I
for
just
them.
feel like Catherine Hahn, like people will click on that on Disney
Yeah.
Plus.
Spooky season.
People
again.
who don't know it's a Marvel thing, they'll click on it anyway.
Mhm.
Some people.
Taylor, viewership and end credit predictions.
Viewership is gonna be really low. Really
Lower
really
than Miss
low.
Marvel though. None of us are going that far.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be low. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I'll say no. It won't be lower than Miss Marvel. I think that Miss Marvel is in its own place, and I think GA and Marvel fans alike are kind of like, yeah, just keeping that to its own thing. But this, I think you're right, Dylan. I think people will see Catherine Hahn and be like, oh, I know her. Click. Oh, Halloween. And they'll just watch it. So
Aubrey Plaza in that thumbnail too. Maybe.
Aubrey Plaza. Yeah, that's right.
And they might have some trickery thumbnails that like show Wanda from behind, and people are like, oh shit, there's Wanda here. They're gonna do it, especially if there's like an episode
Wanda
where she
from
visits her
behind.
grave, or that'll get some clicks if you title an episode "Wanda from Behind." There you go. Taylor, end credit.
End credit. Fuck, I got no idea. What? Like what?
Do you like my suggestion of them going to find? Because like if. Again, I don't care. Wanda's kid is alive. He's in this show. I feel like he's gonna want to find his mom. I feel like that's the natural direction where it's like, let's go get your mom, kid.
Just the same scene of like him with the Darkhold, and he's like hovering, and you can like hear Wanda talking in the distance or something like that.
Yeah. Like I guess we didn't cover it, but they literally have a trailer out there where she goes like, and they blank out what she says, but she says Billy. Like the marketing's been like very like wink and nod, like, oh, this isn't who you think it is, but we all know it's like, oh, that's Billy Maximoff right there. So, or maybe go find his dad, I guess, right? Could it be Vision? Because technically, if they say like, well, your dad's a robot, and then he's seen on the news because he does have a show. So again, see, that's where I still think Agatha could be like, she could pop a Vision Quest, literally drop his kid off, be like, hey, this is your kid, and like, oh yeah, it is, boom.
It's possible.
And they are
gonna
making
make
that show.
Though? Are they?
They have a writer. They just hired an actor again last week.
I've seen them hire writers before, Travis. Okay?
No.
I've
And
seen them do it over and over.
They
again.
hired an actor to play an assassin character, which is probably the Grim Reaper. James Spader's coming back for Ultron, so I think that show's happening. I think because I guess the scuttlebutt is they no longer want to do shows with new characters. They just want to do like established characters, which Travis told you that fucking 2 years ago. That was a mistake when you guys did Miss Marvel and all that stuff. But, don't pay me for anything. Robert Downey Jr. from Mephisto as well. Yeah, sure, why not? Have him play everyone. Have him play Magneto. Have him play Venom. Have him play all that stuff. Taylor, you got the Agatha predictions from
I do.
ChatGPT?
I do, which completely went over my head. Forgot, but I whipped up something nice and juicy for you guys.
You got a penguin one coming up next, so.
And I'm gonna whip that up just as quick.
How's that thumbnail going? Is there a thumbnail on this episode?
I'm gonna
yet?
whip that up even quicker.
Oh my god, what? There's still not a thumbnail? You said you do it on
Oh.
air. We've been here for an hour and 7
Luckily, we're
minutes.
still on
Doing
air.
Two jobs at once.
When Kirkland slides in here, I'll slide the thumbnail.
There's no thumbnail. Are you kidding me? It's been
No,
hour 7.
But wait on Kirkland. Wait on Kirkland for his debut. So let me read this wonderful chat GPT here. This one's for you, S-Bubs. You can add it to the whole roster of chat GPT. So the show
Just putting that work on him. He said he'd do it for 1 year. He didn't say the other year. So now you're putting
every
it on
single year. The show is called Agatha. Chaos is my middle name.
I feel like that's close to one of the like rumored names, or not rumored names, but the announced names that they kept rotating around.
I think so.
Terrible
Covenant of
fucking
Chaos.
name.
Chaos is my middle name.
Like for an episode title.
Chaos from behind.
I think as an episode title that works, but imagine the show is
The
Chaos.
whole show.
Unless you
the
guys
whole
review.
I would gladly review Team Beach 2. I gotta see it. I like the first one.
But hang on, I suppose, yeah, if you make us another chat GPT best of, we'll review Team Beach 2. Well, we've already committed that, so
Yeah.
Now
look
we're
out for
making
that.
deals with patrons. Here. We're wheeling and dealing.
Yeah.
Okay, so episode 1, Agatha's no good, very bad amnesia. That's the title of episode 1.
I like that title a lot, actually. That's pretty good.
Really?
For an
I-
episode title, not a show, but the episode title, yeah. I imagine she's
That's
going to be
fair.
like, where am I? Westview?
I basically told it to write 8 episodes. I'm not sure how many episodes the actual show is.
That's fine.
So I just did 8 as generic. But yeah, so episode 1, Agatha wakes up in Las Vegas, no memory of who she is, but absolutely convinced that she's a card shark.
Oh,
What
now
the
we're off to now we're off to a bad start. We took a hard left turn.
Wow, I don't remember that from the trailer.
So she's running a rigged casino under the alias of Agnes Fortune when Rocket Raccoon appears, accusing her of rigging a game of poker against him.
He's just hanging out in Vegas.
Is he on Earth right now at the
No,
end of
he's not.
Guardians? No,
But
that's just
Peter Quill
right?
is, so maybe he's visiting Peter. I
Visiting
do
Quill
laugh because I didn't
Vegas.
see the first comment. Aspa said, "Yeah, I'm not doing it this year, but we do have Team Beach 2. So yeah, if you want Team Beach 2, well, we'll hold you to it. But continue, Rocket Raccoon.
This escalates quickly into a casino heist led by Ant-Man and Louise. I don't know who
Jesus.
Louise is.
He's the guy that,
Ant-Man's
oh,
buddy.
my friend, he's this guy.
Oh,
The guy who was
right.
cut from Quantumania for no good reason.
That's right.
Well, they weren't on Earth.
Louise?
They were
is-
on Earth for a little bit.
They're on Earth for like 6 minutes out
He
of
saw
the...
all of his other buddies. He didn't see that guy.
Wait, no, he did. I thought
I
he
don't remember
did.
the other buddies in
Well,
there.
they saw
I don't remember.
the parents of Cassie, right?
Mm,
We were on Earth
I don't
long enough
remember
to
the
see him
parents.
for a minute. Okay,
Would have been nice to have him in there.
give him a paycheck, $5,000, film one scene,
$5,000.
good to go.
So who need to steal a powerful magical artifact hidden in Agatha's vault. During the heist, the artifact accidentally restores part of Agatha's memory, but it also opens up a portal to a karaoke bar where Thor, post Endgame, is performing "Sweet Child of Mine."
huge cameos happening. We got Rocket. We got Paul Rudd.
Expensive show. Holy F.
We thought Secret Invasion
More,
cost
yeah,
a
it's more
lot.
expensive than Secret Invasion.
Could you imagine that though? Then I'll say this show will get the views if they got Paul Rudd, Chris Hemsworth, and Rocket Raccoon.
But what if they
Yeah.
just have like no-name actors playing these people instead? It's a Westview situation.
Agatha flees confused as Rocket swears revenge for losing his winnings. Episode 2, Multiverse, I Hardly Know Her. That's an interesting name.
I like the title. I like the titles, not
I
the
don't like
show
that.
so
I don't
far.
like that one.
Multiverse hardly
so-
knew her, I like
Agatha decides the key to her lost memories lies in Paris because why not? But when she steps through a portal, she doesn't end up in Paris. Instead, she's in a parallel universe where Howard the Duck is president of the United States, and the Avengers are all
man.
literal animals.
This is great. This is good stuff.
She teams up with Throg, and Spider Ham to break into the White House, where
fuck yeah.
President Howard reveals that he was once Agatha's apprentice. Before Agatha can get any answers, Doctor Strange bursts in, claiming this entire universe is an illusion caused by Agatha binge-watching sitcoms while sleepwalking through the multiverse.
Man, it sucks because this is a time where, I'm always supporting the writers, but there's every once in a while, I'll say 9 out of 10 times, the show is always better than what ChatGPT gives us. But there's that one time, where I know, man, this already sounds more exciting than the previews we've gotten for the show.
The way
and
I
it fucking sucks.
the way I look at it is like anyone can come up with a fun idea, and
Yep.
that's what this is. But would it actually write something halfway decent
you
with
could
that
write
plot?
something.
Absolutely not.
What I would like this to be, though, this sounds like a killer animated series to me. Not a live action, but animated. To me, this sounds like this could be almost like a what if. Like Agatha's going through a bunch of multiverse. You get just the people to do the voice or the what if people. But no, you're probably right, Dylan. But like I'm digging these ideas so far. Avengers, all animals. Howard Duck president. You can do Howard Duck president. You can do that.
They should have done that in Brave New World.
They should have. Yeah.
Would have made it better.
Would have been wild. That would have been super cool to see, though. Doctor Strange is utterly confused, Agatha more so, and none of this makes sense, and that's the point. Episode 3, The Witch and the Wasp. Hope Van Dyne tracks Agatha down in an alternate universe where everything is tiny, literally. Buildings, people, animals, everything is miniaturized. Hope claims Agatha is the key
If everything
to
is mini, isn't everything just like regular size? Or
I guess it would be regular size if you're from that universe, or multiverse. But if you step into it, you're like,
Gotcha.
whoa, it's super tiny. Was Mike popping off about?
He said I'm a bit
Oh.
behind, but I had to say they could not possibly have done a better job of turning me off of Dexter Original Sin with such a short trailer. Yeah, I feel like that's every hardcore Dexter fan with this show is like turned around. But
Yeah.
continue.
So
sorry, cut you off. Kirkland Sandwich must be fucking huge.
He's
Like, what is
passed
this man?
out. Oh no, he's dead. He's we're
he's
we're
out.
doing the F4 movie. He's not even gonna make it till then.
God damn.
Yeah, he's out cold. So Hope claims Agatha is the key to fixing the quantum realm, but Agatha is too busy fending off miniature Ultron bots who somehow have like godlike strength. Agatha teams up with Hope and Jimmy Woo, who's now the most respected detective in this tiny world, solving miniature mysteries.
So cute.
Speak of the devil.
Look what the
He's
cat
dead.
dragged in.
Hello, Kirkland.
Hello, gentlemen.
Welcome.
We'll talk to you later. You continue.
Talk to you later. The episode ends with Agatha
can
regaining
actually
memory of the
go back
Salem
out for a
witch
little bit,
trials, only to realize she was never actually a part of it. She was just watching it on an 18th century magic reality show. Episode 4. What's so funny?
That I don't know. That worked out for me. This chat, this one's Travis coded, man. That's good
I like
stuff.
it.
I
Okay.
liked it too. Fuck.
Episode 4, Bingo Night of the Living Dead. Do you like that one?
Not really.
Okay. Agatha returns to Westview hoping to unlock more memories. However, she's thrown into a Twilight Zone version of the town where all the residents are now zombies, but they're still very much into small town suburban life. Zombie Vision invites her to Bingo Night where she runs into Deadpool, who is just as surprised to be there as she is.
Coming off the $1 billion movie, got Reynolds in this.
We
Good.
gotta get him back. Yeah. Agatha wins a bingo, which somehow brings Mephisto into this universe, but only for a brief moment because Deadpool accidentally cuts him in half mid-monologue. Agatha remembers nothing from her time in Westview except that Vision was terrible at bingo. Blade makes a cameo, mistaking the zombies for vampires, and then exits when he realizes his mistake. Good lord. Okay, episode 5. Agatha versus Agatha versus Agatha versus Agatha.
Like Mickey 17.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Agatha 17.
In a completely nonsensical turn of events, Agatha falls through a multiversal rift, landing in a gladiatorial arena where hundreds of Agathas from different universes are forced to fight for the amusement of the Grand Master, Jeff Goldblum.
Nice. Finally,
Holy
he's
shit.
back. I've been waiting. It's been too long.
Each Agatha has a ridiculous backstory: Pirate Agatha, Cowboy Agatha, Robot Agatha, and one who's literally just Catherine Hahn playing Catherine Hahn.
Okay.
That
So
sounds good.
They're pretty much just doing the Deadpool third
Cowboy.
act.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
$1 billion.
Chat GPT saw the
recreate
movie.
it.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Excused.
The ultimate winner is Agatha from the MCU, but not before she stumbles into an unexpected team-up with Loki, who has been trapped here since the TVA fired him for excessive mischief.
I seem to remember a different ending to Loki season 2.
Yeah,
Could be wrong.
they fired
They
that
fired
one.
him. Oh,
out
you're
of the
not
tree.
good. God Loki? No, you're fired from being a
You're
god.
fired. Loki reveals that the multiverse is collapsing because Agatha's alternate selves have been meddling with sitcom realities across dimensions. Episode 6, Agatha and the Multiversal Bake Off. Agatha finds herself pulled into a magical version of the Great British Bake Off, except it's a high-stakes magical competition with the fate of the multiverse on the line. Judges include Scarlet Witch, Doctor Doom, and Nick Fury, who knows nothing about
Fuck,
baking.
Downey's in this
Downy?
too.
Yeah.
Her compet-
First appearance.
Just for a second, stop. I still hate when we talk about Doctor Doom as fucking Downey Jr. Like, I hate that it's like a real thing. It's not even a meme, but continue.
I think we've racked up at least
This is
700 million budget for this.
Oh,
at this
yeah.
point.
This costs more than Infinity War and Endgame together.
Yeah.
So her competitors include Wong, MODOK, and Howard the Duck. He's back, and
That's
this
a
time he's
great
determined to
lineup.
win.
Yeah. MODOK as a chef? Fuck yeah,
That'd be
man.
great.
At least I died a
Agatha's
chef.
Agatha has no idea how she got here, but halfway through baking a cursed souffle, she suddenly remembers she's been hopping through the multiverse because she lost a bet with Dormammu centuries ago, and he's been messing with her ever since. Episode 7, Enter Clea, Exit Agatha. Clea, the sorcerer supreme in the dark dimension, appears, ripping Agatha from the bake-off in the middle of the final round. Her souffle collapses, much to Nick Fury's dismay. And Clea explains that the multiverse is on the brink of imploding because Agatha's meddling has caused serious magical indigestion. Agatha reluctantly teams up with Clea, but in a shocking twist, Ghost Rider, it specifically says the Nicolas Cage version, holy fuck, bursts in and declares that only he can stop the multiverse collapse. Agatha promptly vanishes in a puff of purple smoke, leaving Clea to roll her eyes at the absurdity of it all. The last shot, a teaser that Agatha's actual soul has been trapped inside a rubber chicken in Deadpool's backpack. Okay. Episode 8, Death is the New Black. The season finale takes an even crazier turn as Kang the Conqueror shows up.
Wow, we got so much Ant-Man representation in this show. That's
Jonathan
insane. We had a
Majors.
Wasp episode, we had
He's
an Ant-Man
back.
episode, now we
He's
got
back.
Kang back, we got
They
Modok.
cleared his name and they brought him back.
Even though he was found guilty, they cleared his name. Jeez Louise, the show.
He shows up demanding to know why Agatha has been breaking all his carefully curated timelines, but instead of an epic showdown, Kang, Deadpool, and Clea are sucked into a cosmic fashion show where Agatha must create a killer outfit to escape the fashion gods of a forgotten universe. Just when all hope seems lost,
Kinda
Tony Stark
Second
makes a
appearance?
cameo claiming he survived by uploading his consciousness into a toaster, a callback to the infamous toaster from WandaVision. In the final...
That was Tony Stark all along.
the infamous toaster. I don't even know what fucking toaster you're talking about.
You don't know?
And so yeah, Downey's back for 2, eh? May as well.
He's back, yeah. So, in the final moments, Agatha wins the fashion show but dies in the process, turning into a literal sparkly puff of glitter. As the glitter settles, Ghost Rider declares himself the new Sorcerer Supreme, while Clay...
You're making this part up.
No, I swear, that was in there. Clea looks on in horror, and the last shot of the season, a glowing portal opens, and Howard the Duck steps out saying, "You didn't think I was done, did you?" Wow.
I'm a little lost on the plot of this, gotta be honest. But
Me too. But we got a post-credit scene, which
Okay.
is always great.
darkly lit, glittery room.
So post-credit scene, Return of the Dark. That's an interesting name for it.
It has a name. The
Yeah,
post
It
I
has a
think
name
so.
for it,
Wow,
yeah.
that's insane.
The camera pans over an eerie forest bathed in sickly purple moonlight.
That's good.
GPT got upgraded for that.
Oh, yeah, it did. The trees twist unnaturally, their branches gnarled like claws, and a soft wind rustles the leaves. Strange whispers echo through the air. In the middle of a small clearing, sits a
Echoes in this show too.
Echoes.
Oh my god.
In the middle of a small clearing
Actually,
stands a massive
Taylor-
stone cauldron.
Can you stop for a second? Kirkland, you're not watching the trailers, are you?
I am watching the trailers.
Oh, you don't need to. We did that already. So, well, you guys
No,
can.
you
Let's
watch
look at
them.
your
You should
opinion.
watch them.
I was curious as to what the trailers were. I've been looking forward to the Mickey 17 trailer for a while.
Okay, we'll get your thoughts after. Continue, Taylor.
Bubbling with dark energy, suddenly we hear a faint ghostly laughter. A glimmering puff of glitter materializes out of nowhere, the last remnants of Agatha. It floats in the air, drawn toward the cauldron like iron fillings to a magnet. As it reaches the cauldron, it hovers, hesitating for a moment before being sucked inside with a hiss. The camera zooms into the cauldron where a dark figure looms, emerging slowly from the misty vapor. As the figure becomes clearer, it's revealed to be Agatha, but she's different. Her eyes are glowing a deep red, and her usual smirk is gone. Her voice is low and eerie. Agatha says, "I'm not finished yet." Suddenly, a portal cracks open behind her, and out steps Mephisto, grinning as he claps his hands slowly. And he says, "You've always had a flair for the dramatic, haven't you? I thought you'd be glittered for good." Agatha turns to face him.
See, that's actual ChatGPT dialogue right there. We're talking ideas. Ideas are great. Dialogue, Jesus,
That's fair.
glittered
fair.
for good.
Glittered for good. Agatha turns to face him, smirking wickedly, and she says, "Takes more than that to get rid of me, but you knew that, didn't you?" Before Mephisto can respond, the air grows colder, and the ground begins to shake. From the shadows, Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider rides in, his flaming skull illuminating the dark forest. He dismounts his bike and approaches the cauldron, chain in hand. And he says, "Hell's not big enough for the two of you." Oh, fuck, this is amazing. I love this. Agatha raises an eyebrow, clearly impressed. Mephisto chuckles, but the laughter is cut short by the sudden sound of thunder. From a crack of lightning, Doctor Strange appears, hovering above the scene with a grave expression on his face, and beside him is Clea. Her eyes narrowed as she assesses the dark energy emanating from the cauldron. Doctor Strange says, "This ends now, Agatha. You've been meddling with the multiverse for too long." Before Agatha can respond, another portal opens, and out steps
How long is
Wanda
this fucking
Maximoff. Fully embracing her Scarlet Witch persona, the force trembles under her power as she walks forward, her hands crackling with chaotic energy. She says, if anyone's going to destroy the multiverse, it'll be me. Just when it seems like all the magical powerhouses of the MCU have gathered, a crash echoes through the trees, and out of the shadows emerges Deadpool riding a baby T-Rex, waving a flag that says Multiverse Tour 2024. And he says, who ordered the chimichangas? Oh, wait, that's me. Sup, nerds.
Oh no.
I love when ChatGPT rates Deadpool because it's the worst. It's the absolute worst. Like, what's up, nerds?
Okay, he stops short, realizing that the very serious standoff he's interrupted. Everyone turns to stare at him, the tension building. Deadpool looks to the camera and says, okay, I see what's happening. This is one of those spooky end-of-the-world deals, right? Been there, done that. Before anyone can make a move, the ground splits open beneath them, and from the
How many times? I thought Deadpool was the last ending.
from the chasm rises Kang the Conqueror, floating in ominously in his full battle armor. He says the multiverse is in free fall and I'm the only one who can control it. As Kang's presence fills the air with dread, Agatha, now fully powered up, steps forward with a wicked grin. Oh, honey, you think you're in control? I am the chaos. Suddenly, the cauldron begins to glow violently and dark tendrils of magic shoot out, wrapping around everyone. The camera zooms in on Agatha's glowing red eyes as she raises her hand towards the sky, and she says, time to rewrite the script. The screen goes black, leaving only the sound of demonic laughter and the echo of Deadpool's voice saying, cue the dramatic cliffhanger. You guys love that, right? Cut to black. There you go.
I felt like they beat all those characters in the finale there, and then they all came back.
Doesn't make any sense, but
No, not at
I
all.
love that.
Insane.
Kirkland, we're gonna go over all the predictions, but yeah, what's your hype level for Agatha for the people that weren't in the
Very
chat
low,
there?
very low, very low.
Yeah.
I wish I was a Survivor watcher, so I didn't have to be watching the show as well. But no, I don't like. I'm
Someone has to
hoping
walk
that
the
it'll be a
plank.
surprise, but it's like expectations are low, and like I don't think it's gonna be awful. It's just I don't think it's gonna be something that I'm like gearing every week. Like fuck yeah, new Agatha episode. It's also tough when it gets like Penguin starting, Rings. Yeah, it's all right of a shit. Well, last week was a bit of a banger, but I don't know. Like there's just a lot of stuff in the mix right now. Like Joker's coming out soon, so I feel like my bandwidth is focused elsewhere other than
it's
Agatha.
on
So
the last rung.
And now
So
you're
may-
gonna see Megalopolis too, by the way. So
Did you hear the beginning of the cast?
yeah, who's the chap in that?
Patron. What do you mean? Who's the chap?
Who's the chap in Megalopolis?
Adam Driver.
Yeah, there you go, that guy,
that chap.
up and coming actor.
Your point was
free tickets. The tickets are free.
the
I don't
point.
understand
So
what you're saying to me.
You were well, I don't understand what you're saying when you're like the chap and I'm like Adam Driver, and then you're like and then you went to continue talking about Agatha. Patron Clay said if he upped his tier, like to Patron producer, would we review Megalopolis? We're assuming opening weekend.
I'm there.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
You got him.
So, and then so is that what he has to do? Does he have to do Patreon producer? Because like it's still 3 hours. It's free. Like because Adam or
3 hours.
It's for sure 3 hours. I'm
The
pretty sure.
movie's 3 hours.
Oh, man.
I've
Someone-
seen worse 3-hour movies.
I
I
didn't
feel
know
like
that.
Ad
You don't know
Astra was
that
at least
yet.
5 hours.
No, you don't know
movie
that
was
yet.
long.
Ask Bob's guy in the chair. Let us know.
How
I
long
think
is
it's
this
maybe I'm
document?
wrong. Wait, it's on Adam now, right? So it should have a time. It's probably not 3 hours, right? Hopefully
Kirkland,
not.
also, have you seen I Think You Should Leave? Or you're a fan of that, right?
Oh man, that show is so fucking good.
I'm wrong.
There
It's
you go.
2:18. It's 2:18. It's not
Okay,
3
that's
hours.
fine.
Okay. Okay.
There you go, Clay. Kirkland is the fan of that.
Oh, Patreon Clay is big. I think you should leave fan.
He was
Did I
thanking
miss the
Dylan for Dylan.
He was thanking me
loving it.
for. the
Oh, there you go.
recommendation. And
There's
It
the
is so fucking.
Dylan had no idea. All right. So there you go.
We've gone
Patreon
on
Clay.
quite the
Very
ride.
specific type of humor, Clay. I'm glad that you're in that category.
No, he hasn't watched it yet, though. He's going to.
Oh,
so he doesn't
okay.
even know if he likes it.
What's the
So-
confusion?
So Clay, you got a week and a day to go to Patreon producer, and then we'll watch Megalopolis. But you need to do that because I'm still not seeing it just for the fun of it all. Because I don't know, heard not great things.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Any other
Big-
questions?
There will be. Let's take an ad break. All right, we are back. I'm gonna let everyone know in 2 weeks from now we're doing the Joker predictions newscast. That's when you're gonna get your BS meter, because I can already tell with the Venom stuff and the Penguin stuff, we're gonna have a full newscast already. So I'm gonna kick that one more time. I'm sorry, but we will talk about. But there's some tangents that are gonna be happening. I can tell here. So Penguin, Kirk, I'll start with you. Where's your excitement level for that?
Extremely high. Extremely high. Yes. I feel like that's one. I kind of forgot that it has the Thursday release to the start and then it moves to Sunday.
Just one day. Yeah.
Not really a big fan of that. Even though I'm excited for the show, it's just like when we have other content coming out on Thursday, it's just like, man, my Thursday is pretty booked now. But
It's just 1 week though.
I know, but it's like just fucking do it on Sunday. House the Dragon does that. They do it on Sunday. They don't do it on Thursdays, right? Unless I'm very mistaken. Did House
Again,
of
it's just
Dragon
one
premiere?
day. It's just one day, so I don't know.
One
I don't
too
know what-
many, if you're asking me, and you are asking
HBO
me
must
right
have
now,
another
so.
a show on already on Sunday.
Too many songs on Sundays.
Celine song.
But yeah, no, I'm extremely hyped for that. What was I was watching something on Crave not too long ago, and like every ad was for Penguin, and I'm
Yes.
like, fuck yeah, I'm so ready for this show. So yeah, I'm super hyped. Colin Farrell's fantastic. I watched Horrible Bosses not too long ago. I fucking love Colin Farrell and these like little minor roles, so I'm excited to have him in a lead here. But yeah, big 2 thumbs up from me.
Nice.
Big 2 thumbs up. So Dylan, I know you're not joining the reviews, but is this a show that you will maybe binge, or you think, I'm just good
No.
until Batman 2? Whoa.
I will not watch it ever, I don't think.
Ever? What if
I
you
don't
just
think
hear immaculate things about it?
I've heard immaculate things about many shows, and
Okay,
I've not
that's
watched
fair.
them. I'm not watching this. I'll go see Batman 2 and Joker 2, but
Right.
that's about it. That's the best you'll get from me on the DC front.
I was confused about Joker 2 for a second. I thought you were talking about Barry Keoghan's Joker. I'm like, well, he needs Joker 1 first, but I see what's happening. So, because we were talking about the Matt Reeves stuff.
Is what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
we were talking about Matt Reeves stuff, and he said Joker, so my mind was in a different sphere.
Yes, there's Jokers everywhere these days. They're falling out of trees and
Yeah.
popping up through the sewer grate.
There's gonna be a third one because they got to cast one for James Gunn one too. So there's
They
lots
have
of,
to. Yeah.
They have
have
to.
to.
So, Taylor,
I am I was really unsure at the start when they announced this show because I wasn't sure. Like this is a character in this kind of world I really want to keep on exploring. But after seeing the trailer and just kind of the vibes for it, just these syndicates kind of going against each other and just Penguin trying to rise up, it does have something in there that it's pulling me in, and I am really interested to see what's going to go down here, especially because it's the quick fallout of the film, right? And it's been so
Yes.
long since I've seen that film, and I definitely need to pop it on really quick here so I can watch and get back into that world. But I am looking forward to this a lot, and just see what kind of like a setup we're gonna get, because I think the show is gonna put a new spotlight on Gotham, and it's gonna position Gotham for that next movie. So I'm excited for that.
yeah, I can't remember if they said it's like a couple months after the Batman. I can't remember, but yeah, we're not doing the whole spiel because, like I said, we're already running long. But yeah, they revealed that like Batman 2 is going to take place like a week after this show, and some interview asked them like, oh, well, where does it fall in the season? And he said, well, it's not Christmas or New Year's, but it's close to that. So that gets me very fucking excited, because that means Batman 2 is going to be set in the winter, and we've not got much Batman Snow content, and I need that happening right now. So that's very exciting. Yeah, no, I'm very excited for this. I haven't done it yet. I'm going to be either tomorrow or Thursday rewatching the Batman, getting ready, and I'm just excited because like that movie still 2 years away, so it's just nice to get a little taste of it, because there's certain rumors about rumblings of maybe some things being connected, and I do like that they say it sets up stuff in the Batman 2, but I don't think it's specifically that you will have to watch that, so that's good. And yeah, I'm just excited to see more of Matt Reeves' Gotham, and I think he has a good idea of the lore of his world. Again, also in the press, he said that the plan's still to do a trilogy, so I hope that just means that they've talked with Gunn, and he's still like, yeah, cool, yeah, I'm down for that. So that's my hope, that it's all funky and we're going on that route, and that just gets me more excited. And I'll be excited that when it's done, we'll have the show kind of in the middle of it. But Reeves has said there's no passing, no Batman, so I did have that as a prediction, but he said that. Do you guys all take him for his word, or do you think he's just lying?
No Patterson.
He's a man of his word.
No Patterson.
Okay. I would have said weeks ago for sure Patterson was locked, but I think this follows this continuous Batman rumor that Batman's not allowed on TV for some reason. They just like don't ever want to. Batman's never been on TV. He's like, they just don't. The Bruce Wayne has, but Batman they don't want it. But yeah, I still thought they could have got him in there for something. But I get it. They just said like whatever Batman's doing is more important. And there is a newspaper that leaked from the show, and it's like Batman's been missing. So I'm excited to see like why he's missing, what's he been up to. So I'm trying to think. There's gonna be no end credits. I don't think in this show. Is there gonna be anything specifically that like really tips the hat to like, hey, this is who or what is the main threat of the Batman 2, or is it just when Matt Reeves like, yeah, it sets up the Batman 2, it's just kind of like, yeah, this is the state of Gotham City, but really like you're not gonna get that till I announce a cast member X, Y, and Z. What do you think, Dylan?
Yeah, I think because what do we got? We got Clayface, we got Two-Face, we got all these faces in the sequel, right?
There's a rumor for a bunch. Those are all just still rumor. We don't have that confirmed, but I will say there is a character we're waiting to get confirmed that's last name is the same as one of those rumored last name characters. Like their sister is supposedly in the show. We've not had that confirmed though yet, so that could be a big tip
Interesting.
that like, okay, if Travis Snell's sister's in the show, you would assume that Travis Snell is coming in a future episode or movie, right?
I would assume, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd maybe throw out a prediction that you will see one of these villains like before they're a villain, like just as a guy. I don't know if he'd be like a political figure, or maybe he works at the Daily Bugle equivalent of Gotham, something like that. So maybe you could see something like that, but I think they really don't want to. They want to make sure that the movie does the complete job of setting up who that actual villain is. But maybe you get like a fun little Easter egg sort of cameo situation in there, but definitely not a major character.
Yeah, it's not gonna be like, oh, here's Harvey.
But also
Keitel
not a
event.
post-credit type thing. Like
No.
just a character who's in there at some point for a conversation or two. Like pretty simple.
Yeah, or I could even see them do something like, oh, you gotta go talk to the new DA, Mr. Dent. Like they don't show Dent,
Yeah.
but they name drop Dent, and it's like, oh
that
shit.
seems perfect. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because we're like the DA. If you don't remember, the DA died in the Batman, so I just feel like you kill the DA. Harvey Dent's known as the DA. It's a pretty obvious like. We know who we're getting there. Taylor, three things. One, you said you'd have the thumbnail when Kirkland got in the room. Not
It's
up there.
coming.
Two, have you been
Right.
working on the Chat GPT for Penguin?
Yep, it's
Okay.
written.
And then three, do you think this sets up any prominent villains?
Oh man, I just would love to see a Clayface pop in there. As for what other villains to see, I really don't know. I mean, I'm always down for Scarecrow. Scarecrow would be pretty cool.
You know it's not going to be like Monster Clayface, right?
Yeah, which I'm totally fine with. I'm totally
Matt Reeves
fine
again
with.
confirmed because people don't understand it. When he said the first time, he says, we're doing grounded stuff. And everyone's like, oh my God, why?
Clay
Fixator, man.
ground is made of clay, so I mean that's pretty grounded.
He listed the, oh God, Kirkham, what's the episode of Cape Crusader? With the
With Clayface?
the ghost,
Talia
the
al Ghul.
ghost.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I forgot his name. But there's a ghost in Batman Cape Crusader. He's like, we're not doing that. It's like the
Martian
Ghostly
Manhunter,
Gentleman or Gentleman Ghostly or something like that.
Calendar Man.
Gentleman Ghost.
Gentleman Ghost. Yeah, he's like, yeah, we'll adapt stuff, but we're never going that far because he fights an actual ghost in the newest animated show that Matt Reeves produced. So, yeah,
Go watch
again,
that show. It is so fucking good.
Great show. Yeah.
I would love to see Mr. Freeze. That would be really, really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get set up there. Kirkland, same question to you.
Same question to all three. Thumbnail is not ready. I'm sorry. For I think it will be setting up some players, some main pieces on the chessboard that would be Batman 2.
Very nice.
I liked your DA pitch because as you like. Good observation that we don't have a DA anymore and we need to have someone. I would like the next DA to be Harvey, not just I don't know. I'm trying to think of a generic name.
Tom
For some
Booth?
reason, Bruce Willis came in my mind, but that's not really a generic name. John Smith.
Oh,
there you go. Very
DA
generic.
Bruce Willis. Everyone's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, don't like that. Don't.
Yeah.
And then Clayface. I think that's just fantastic, especially experiencing Clayface in the Cape Crusader. My only other experience to Clayface. Actually, no, he popped up in Arkham City, eh?
He did,
Clayface?
yeah.
Okay, so I would have experienced him there, but then it would have been the Harley Quinn show, which is a great version. I like that character, but it's very different. So I would really like a more like Cape Crusader style of Clayface in this live action world, but I don't like. Do you think it's realistic if like Matt Reeves was like a big part of that show and then they do that? Is that too
Of that
weird?
Which Clayface?
Like Cape Crusader, if like Matt Reeves, like what was he, a producer for that show?
Yeah.
Like, is it weird if he like has that same version in his movie?
I don't think so.
No?
I think it's in the review. It's like maybe they did it, and he's like, "Oh, this could work really well for
Yeah.
my movie, so I'm going to do it here." I don't think so. Because plus, also, I don't think a mass amount of people are watching Cape Crusader. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sure millions have, but I don't think it's the point where people. My mom's gonna be like, "Oh, well, Matt Reeves already did this in the animated show. Now he's doing it." And maybe then he's like, "I can perfect it even more so because you can do it on
Yeah.
the big screen, big budget."
I think like a Court of Owls thing could be really fun in Matt Reeves' Batman universe, but I don't think that would be like set up here. It could be, but just like my feeler is that it's not, and
Lots of people think it is, but
yeah, my little goosebumps are telling me no, but they're not really telling me much. It's more so just like, yeah, I really like the Clayface idea. Maybe my goosebumps are pointing me towards Harvey actually.
Harvey. All right, Taylor, hit us with your chat GPT.
From ChatGPT. All right, so this is called Kingpin of Gotham, the Penguin. So episode one.
Wait a second. Is Penguin in the title?
Yep.
Okay. I was just like, that's a big mistake if it's not. But
Episode 1, The King is Dead. Story opens with Gotham City reeling from the death of Carmine Falcone. Falcone or Falcone?
Falcone.
Falcone. His death has left a power vacuum, and various factions of Gotham's criminal underworld are vying for control. Oswald Cobblepot, once Falcone's right-hand man, realizes that this is his chance to claim the throne. However, he's not the only one with aspirations. The city's criminal organizations, led by ruthless individuals who were once kept in check by Falcone's influence, are moving quickly to claim the city's key assets. Oswald begins by staking his claim to Gotham's docks, a vital hub for smuggling and black market trades, but as he asserts control, he's met with resistance from rival factions, including the Russian Bratva, led by the cold-blooded killer Victor Zsasz, and remnants of the Maroni family, still reeling from the loss of their empire. Tensions in the city grow as a mysterious figure begins eliminating key figures within Gotham's underworld. Cobblepot must figure out who is behind the murders while solidifying his grip on Falcone's old operations. Simultaneously, Detective Maggie Sawyer joins the Gotham City Police Department, determined to expose the corruption embedded within the city's institutions. As Sawyer investigates the crime surge and the murder of several city officials, her path begins to converge with Cobblepot's rise to power, setting up a dangerous cat-and-mouse game between the two. Who is Maggie Sawyer? Is she a Batman character?
she's a cop. Yeah, I just pulled it up there. She's in Bloodhaven, so that city that Catwoman was going to end the movie. So she is a detective. So there you go. She's a commissioner of Bloodhaven. Look at that. She was a detective in Metropolis as well and Gotham. So
Double dipping.
yep.
Double dipping. Episode 2 is called Cutthroat. Cobblepot's efforts to control the docks face major setbacks as Zaz Bratva hitmen strike against his men. Meanwhile, Nico Grillo, a former lieutenant of Sal Maroni, seeks to restore his family's legacy by reclaiming parts of Gotham's underworld. Grillo is a calculating strategist with deep connections to Gotham's criminal elite, making him a serious threat to Penguin's aspirations. Penguin finds himself stretched thin as he tries to juggle attacks for both Zaz and Grillo. Worse, he begins to suspect that someone within his own ranks is feeding information to his enemies. Paranoia sets in, and the violence intensifies. Penguin is forced to make hard decisions about who he can trust, and Gotham streets turn to a battleground as gang wars erupt, and the city's citizens are caught in the crossfire. Detective Sawyer, meanwhile, uncovers a trail of money and influence leading to some of Gotham's most powerful politicians. As she digs deeper into the criminal conspiracy at the heart of the city, she learns of Penguin's involvement and realizes the scale of corruption she's up against, and her relentless pursuit of justice makes her a growing threat to Penguin's operation. Episode 3, Turf Wars. As Gotham's underworld descends into further chaos, Penguin makes a bold move to eliminate his competition. He orchestrates a daring attack on one of Grillo's key operations, sending a message that he's not to be trifled with. However, this aggressive power grab only serves to escalate the war, as Grillo retaliates by aligning with corrupt elements within the GCPD. With crook cops now working against him, Penguin's empire is under siege from all sides. While navigating these dangers, Penguin begins to uncover the identity of the mole within his organization. The mole's betrayal cuts deep as it's someone the Penguin had trusted for years. Faced with this internal threat, Penguin takes brutal action, asserting his dominance in a way that sends shockwaves through Gotham's criminal circles.
What do you do?
They do. Detective Sawyer's investigation.
Stop. I said, what did he do?
Oh, I thought you said they do.
They do.
They do. They send shockwaves. It doesn't say what he did, just
He
that
just asserted his dominance.
yeah, it was brutal action. Detective Sawyer's investigation continues to close in on the Penguin, but as she makes progress, she becomes the target of intimidation from both the criminals she's pursuing and her own superiors in the GCPD, many of whom are on the take. Despite the growing danger, Sawyer refuses to back down. Episode 4, Bird in a Cage. After barely surviving an assassination attempt orchestrated by Grillo and a mysterious new player known as the Broker, Penguin is forced into hiding. While recovering, Gotham's criminal factions continue to battle for control, and Penguin's influence begins to wane. However, rather than retreating, Penguin uses his time in the shadows to plan his next move, realizing that brute force alone won't be enough to secure his reign. He begins to broker alliances with some of Gotham's lesser-known crime figures, offering them protection in exchange for loyalty. Nico Grillo, sensing weakness in Penguin, moves quickly to consolidate his power. But just as he begins to gain the upper hand, a new threat emerges. Sophia Falcone, Carmine's daughter, returns to Gotham to reclaim her father's empire. Sophia is calculating, ruthless, and deeply connected, making her an even greater threat than Grillo. Cobblepot, still recovering, must navigate this increasingly dangerous landscape. He finds himself in a delicate position, forced to negotiate an uneasy alliance with Grillo to hold back Sophia's forces, but this alliance is fragile, and both sides know that any trust between them is only temporary. Episode 5, Gotham's Ghosts. Sophia Falcone wastes no time. John goes. Making her presence felt in Gotham, she uses her father's old contacts and begins to systematically take over key operations, starting with the drug trade. With her arrival, the gang war escalates into a full-blown conflict, with Gotham streets becoming a battlefield for control over the city's criminal underworld. Meanwhile, Penguin tries to outmaneuver Sophia by exploiting her alliances. He digs up old grudges among her father's former associates and sows discord within her ranks. Despite his efforts, Sophia proves to be a formidable adversary, and her influence grows rapidly. As the war intensifies, Detective Sawyer uncovers solid evidence linking Penguin to the murder of a prominent city official. With the pieces finally coming together, she prepares to take down Penguin once and for all. However, her pursuit of justice puts her directly in the crosshairs of the warring factions, making her a target for assassination. Episode 6. There's this one and 2 more. Going to 8. Blood in the Water. Penguin's internal power struggle reaches a boiling point as Sophia sends a highly skilled assassin named Eduardo Flamingo after him. Flamingo is a sadistic killer, and his relentless pursuit forces Penguin to go into the defensive. A brutal showdown ensues, and although Penguin manages to survive, he realizes that he's losing control of the situation. With both Sophia and Grillo closing in on him, Penguin is left with no choice but to launch an all-out offensive. He orchestrates a series of attacks against his rivals, including a daring raid on one of Sophia's key operations. However, his aggressive tactics only serve to inflame the conflict, and Gotham's underworld descends into chaos. Sawyer, now armed with enough evidence to take down Penguin, launches a citywide crackdown on his operations, but her efforts are complicated by corruption within the GCPD, and she finds herself isolated as her allies in the department are bought off or intimidated. Where the fuck is Batman for all of this?
Well, he's
there's
not
the
there.
Flamingo.
There's
He's not there.
Flamingo. There you
I
go.
like his look. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there you go.
So intimidated. Episode 7, The Fall. The war between Penguin, Sophia, and Grillo comes to a head. He'd head in a dramatic confrontation at an abandoned shipping yard. Penguin has set a trap, hoping to eliminate both of his rivals in one fell swoop. However, things quickly spiral out of control when Flamingo arrives and takes Sophia hostage. In the chaos that follows, Penguin faces a choice. He can either kill his enemies and cement his rise to power, or he can walk away and let Gotham tear itself apart. The final confrontation is brutal, bloody. Penguin manages to kill Grillo, but Sophia's death at Flamingo's hands leaves him conflicted. He has won the battle, but the cost is higher than he expected. Gotham is now his, but the city is in ruins and the future is uncertain. Episode 8, Emperor of Gotham. With his enemies dead and his rivals eliminated, Penguin stands as the undisputed kingpin of Gotham's underworld. However, his victory comes at a high price. Many of his closest allies have either been killed or turned against him, and the city's political structure is crumbling. Detective Sawyer, despite facing mounting pressure, refuses to give up on her pursuit of justice. She prepares to take down the Penguin once and for all, but he remains one step ahead, orchestrating an escape plan that leaves her with nothing. In the final moments, Penguin, now firmly in control of Gotham's criminal empire, stands on a rooftop looking over the city. The bat signal lights
Batman
up.
fucking kills him right after all this. Finale, just Ben Affleck's Batman drops down, and that's it.
The bat signal lights up the night sky, a reminder that while he may rule the underworld, a greater force is always watching. So he's just been watching this whole time. People just getting blown up in the streets. The show ends with Penguin's victory feeling hollow as a new threat begins to emerge from the shadows, hinting at more chaos and conflict in Gotham's future.
I missed that. Can you repeat that?
Which part?
Like from the start. You see, yes, Bubs. If you make the best of, you can leave that one out. Because
You guys are more excited for this than Agatha. Come on, come on.
Yeah, I chose wrong. Agatha, 2 Downies and stuff. But sometimes they play it very, very like textbook. Like, oh, I pull this all from Wikipedia, and that's what ended up happening there, unfortunately. So
Post-credit scene, of course.
No. We're done. Let's move on.
You don't want a
no,
post-credit?
I want it. We're here. He wrote it up.
It's titled Midnight Snack.
Oh no.
How do you not want to hear it now, Dylan? Midnight Snack.
Why do these postcards have titles now? It's so weird.
The scene fades into the rooftop of a towering Gotham building, dark clouds swirling in the night sky. Batman in full armor stands silently by the edge, staring out at the chaotic city below.
Yeah.
The bat signal glows faintly behind him, casting long shadows. The iconic brooding image of the Dark Knight fills the screen as we hear the faint rustling of wings in the distance. Suddenly, there's a loud crunch. Batman's head snaps to the side and he doesn't flinch, just quietly turns his
I
gaze.
thought you meant like his neck was gone.
He just dies in the post-credits.
You said his head turned. Then there's a crunch. It's like, oh my god. Yeah. Okay.
From the gloom, a figure emerges. It's Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin. But instead of the
course.
typical menacing stare or harsh words, Penguin is nonchalantly munching on what appears to be a sub sandwich. Crumbs scattered on his coat, and he looks completely unbothered. Penguin, through a mouthful of food, says, "Oh, don't mind me, bats. Just enjoying a little late night snack."
No, you gotta do it with a mouthful of food, Taylor.
Okay. I need to put food in my mouth for that.
No, it's fine. Never mind. Just keep going.
Oh, don't mind me, bats. Just enjoying a little late night snack. Being a crime lord works up quite an appetite. Batman narrows his eyes but remains silent, ever stoic. Penguin continues to chew, wiping his mouth with a napkin he pulls from his pocket. And with a smirk, he says, "What, no dramatic exit this time? No disappearing act? Just standing there all broody-like?" He waves the sandwich at Batman. "You should try this. They make a killer pastrami down at Maroni's old deli. You'd think with all that running around you'd be hungry too." Batman's stone face doesn't respond. Instead, he folds his arms and stares, clearly unimpressed. Penguin finishes his sandwich, letting out a satisfied sigh.
He just stands there and watches him eat the rest of his sandwich. Yeah, fucking eat it. You criminal.
He folds his arms and stares, clearly unimpressed. Penguin finishes his he tosses the wrapper to his side. Penguin says, "Well, don't say." Penguin says, "Well, don't say I didn't offer. See you around, bats. I'm sure we'll have plenty of quality time together soon." He waddles off into the shadows, still muttering to himself about the deli. As he disappears, Batman takes a step forward, glancing at the discarded wrapper on the ground. Without a word, he reaches down and picks it up, examining it for a moment, and the camera zooms in on the logo of Falcone's Deli as he sighs. Finally, with an almost...
It's going.
Oh, God. With an almost imperceptible shake of his head, Batman mutters to himself in the lowest, gruffest tone imaginable, "Should have gotten extra pickles." And the screen, the screen cuts to black.
Oh, can you just imagine Patterson saying that? And just the whole community turns on Reeves just like that. Should have got extra pickles.
After 10 minutes of Penguin eating a sandwich and Batman just standing there.
That's all he says. All right, we're going to take our last ad break. I know we won't bring it up. We'll just talk about it. Unless people haven't seen it, we'll be right back. And we're back. Because I didn't put this in notes, kind of. Did everyone watch the Venom 3 trailer? I'm sure they've seen it. Okay, good. So we're not going to bring it up because we've gone long, the fucking Falcone's Deli. Kirk, you don't get to shake your head. You got here like 20 minutes ago. You can't go, "Oh, yeah, we've been long,
It's been long.
But anyway, so this happened. This was gonna be our main story, but we kicked it at the end so Kirkland could talk about this a little bit. Got the trailer last week. I don't think tickets are on sale yet, but got the trailer last week. I imagine who knows what everyone wants to say about it, but for me, same old, same old. It's a Venom movie. And then, but the big thing was that they in the preview was they alluded to a bigger threat out there, and it's Null. If people don't know who Null is, they introduced him a couple years ago. There's like a symbiote planet, and he's like the creator of the symbiotes, and yet all that stuff. Very much like a big, huge villain for the symbiotes, aka Venom, right? And then that happened, and then there was a correspondence of, and I think this is because the double of three things. One, Venom is currently doing reshoots in New York right now, and Tom Holland had met with the rumor with Amy Pascal, so people are drawing some lines. Two, I think it's because Destin Daniel Cretton, or however you say his name, he got the Spider-Man gig, and then you got this trailer. There was a copious amounts of stuff coming out now from I'll say higher C tier scoopers, no one in the C plus or B level, but enough of like smoke, there's fire situation that apparently it is sounding like that Spider-Man 4 might have something to do with Venom 4 and Null, even to the extent of maybe having Venom in said movie, Null being the big villain. I don't know where that would go. It sounds like the original plans of being a pure street level movie are dead. We had talked about this before, the rumors of Kingpin and Daredevil, that had come up again. Other names that were thrown around for potentially being in this, or just I don't know if it was in all versions or some versions, but was Scorpion, which was a no dub, but also Mr. Negative. So it sounds like there might be finally connecting these things, but again, we don't know. These are just scuttlebutts and rumors, but Null is a big character, and there's a lot of smoke going on with some of these rumors right now. So Kirkland, we had talked about this many times about Null, and I think you had stressed that even if you might sometimes enjoy these movies, that maybe you weren't wanting Null to be introduced here. But where are you now as far as Venom 3 trailer, Null possibly, and Venom being maybe connected to Spider-Man 4, and that being some sort of multiverse symbiote? Because they already said, like, technically, you look at No Way Home, the end credit of that movie is like the symbiote, stuck in that universe. So you can't say it's like not completely out of the realm of possibility. What do you think about all this stuff?
I feel like I've just been like in disbelief all week because I didn't watch the trailer till today, and I don't even know how many days ago it was, but I think it was you. You got your fingers.
The
up.
last point too is the rumor is Norman Reedus is playing Null. That is still just C tier, but that is the current rumor. Sorry,
Norm
I forgot
Reed.
to mention that. Yeah.
All right. Sam Porter Bridges. Yeah, I feel like I've just been in disbelief because I don't know how many days ago, whenever this trailer came out, I think it was you
Last
that messaged
Thursday.
me, and you're like, "Oh, be ready," or like you said something. I don't even remember what it was. Probably some sneer gif or something. And
Needs more pickles.
I think that is what you said.
Yeah.
With your mouthful of food, of course.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, they must be hinting towards something in that universe because I didn't watch the trailer, and then of course I watched the trailer, and he's like in the trailer, and I'm just shaking my head the whole fucking time. I do not want this at all. I just want these Venom movies to kind of just I don't want to say just die, but just retire, like just
They are.
retire.
It's the last dance, man.
Yeah.
Hey, it is. So I guess that is happening, but the talks of it expanding into the multiverse of symbiotes, and I don't know, like, it's weird that I feel like if I had a conversation with myself 10 years ago, not even 10 years ago wasn't that long ago, 20 years ago, and just be like, man, there's going to be a point that there's going to be like a lot of symbiote live action content, and you're not going to want it. Little Kirkland, yeah, you lies, impossible. But like, I feel like that is kind of where I'm at now. Like I just don't really trust anything that could come out of these like Sony Spider-Man projects like at all anymore. I even like watching this trailer, I didn't think it was like the worst trailer I've seen for these Venom movies, but I just like, I don't want this. Like I don't know. Like I'm gonna be there. Hopefully, I'm surprised. I think I had that thought going into Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, and I was very surprised about how just awful that was, and I had low expectations. And yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna really try and stay open, but as of right now, like I don't want this, and I'm not really looking forward to it. And I don't see how they'll be able to do a fantastic job about this. So hopefully I'm eating my words come the time for this to come out. And
Do you like Null as the Spider-Man 4 villain if that happens? Like if this is like the setup and then the payoff is them teaming up in SPM 4?
I'm not opposed to it. I'm not loving it. I don't know. I'm pretty neutral on that right now. And I think I'll really know how I feel after this movie and just kind of what's shown with him. Like if the movie's awful, but I really love everything around Null, and like if it is the big Norm Reed, I'm loving the portrayal and everything. It's like, okay, give me some of that. Like I'm down for it. So I think I'll really have to just kind of wait until that happens.
Do you like that casting if true?
No,
That's not who
I like Norman
me.
Reedus,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I've interacted a little bit. Like I didn't finish the King of Black series, but I was doing like the build up series. Maybe that's where I screwed up. Like I should just jumped right into it, but I was doing like all of like the lead up materials, like the Venom little arc that's leading into
tie-ins
it.
and
Yeah,
everything.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I started there, and Noah is just such an interesting character that I can't really think of any actor that I would actually like really pin him on, and Norman Reedus is definitely not that. But like for what was shown in the trailer, it's like I could see Norman Reedus, you know, like with the long hair and like looking all somber and dour. Like I don't know, it's a little bit different than kind of how I had pictured Null looking live action, I guess.
I also don't picture him with that accent though too, so I feel like they got to change
Yeah.
that up if he is him.
I agree. Yeah. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna wait for my like certified, I don't know, rotten or fresh meter on that. On the Null, you know, for Spider-Man 4, like moving forward. But yeah, as of right now, I really am not as hyped as maybe I should be of like getting this news and like actual confirmation that Null is gonna be there. Yeah, I don't know. It's strange. It's very strange.
Dylan, the strange you don't have anything as far as knowledge with Null, so I know that. But what about this
He's
idea
got the
of
card
maybe-
in Marvel Snap. I know that.
I
Got
guess
the
you
card in
do.
Marvel
Yeah,
Snap.
there you go.
But that's as far as my my knowledge extends. But
Your
yeah, in terms
knowledge.
of, yeah, and my knowledge in terms of characterization, I don't have much in the way, and I can't speak on Norman Reedus in that way either. But I mean, yeah, this trailer didn't really do much for me. I just don't like this Venom. I know that's like a very silly thing to say, but I just don't like the way he talks. I don't like the vibe of it. You know, I like Tom Hardy, but I don't really like what he's doing here. It's been like, when did that first one come out? Was that 2017 or was it more recent than 2018 maybe?
2018, I thought.
Yeah, I think so. I think 2018.
Yeah, so it's been a long time since I've watched it. I still have not seen Carnage, so
Oh
I'm
God.
I'm a little behind.
Don't need to.
Well, I might need to for this third one. I don't know.
Dylan Solo Venom retro.
I mean,
Someone pay producer to make him do a commentary track. I would love.
I would do it. I'll be
I'd love
solo
just
for
a
that.
solo, just Dylan
Especially commentary track is just like so like out of energy. Like, oh yeah, when that happened.
dead air for 50 minutes. Just what?
It's probably one that I'll be on the couch playing Marvel Snap while I watch it. It'll be one of those. But no, I don't really want this stuff to cross over with MCU. I just feel like we have so much other ground to cover. We have so many other characters. So I don't really want this vibe over there. I mean, maybe the Null stuff is cool and interesting, but from like what we saw in this trailer of all these like big CGI monsters, like I don't really want this Tom Holland who's like fresh off Mind Wipe. Of like everyone else Mind Wipe. Like I don't really want him to go fight some big gooey monster. Like I want it to be a more personal thing to the character of Peter Parker as well. Even if I guess that's kind of tricky because no one knows who Peter Parker is. So either way, I just want something that's maybe a little bit. I don't even need to be familiar, but I just feel like that is not the particular vibe I'm looking for. But it sounds like the more and more rumors I get, the more and more it sounds like this movie is not going to be a small scale thing, which I never really thought it would be. It's just kind of once again what I wanted for it. So I don't know. Was there another element to this that I'm forgetting about? That was kind of everything, right?
No, I think that was it
Yeah.
there. So I'll go because maybe Taylor will be more positive because he's always the shining light when it's darkest sometimes. But yeah, it's funny when we're in a scenario. I think we talked about this a couple months ago when there was rumors that Disney and Sony can't agree, right? Disney and Feige want a small criminal street level thing, and Sony wants the multiverse thing. And I always was like, I prefer the street level stuff, but the multiverse stuff, that's great because I'm down for more Toby and Andrew and Tom. Now, if you would have told me the multiverse stuff was two Toms, but it being Tom Holland and Tom Hardy, that's where I go, oh man, I screwed up there. And that's where I definitely should just, no matter what, just say street level. Not that my decision has anything to do with it, but I thought, oh, it's a no-brainer. That's what they have to be doing, right? It's the three Spider-Men again, because why wouldn't you? That's what people want. I don't know, like, here's the thing, to take my bias out of it, because I don't care about this Venom at all. I'm not excited for it. I will be on the review because it's gonna be one of my last big reviews. So the Sony Marvel reviews are, as we said before, they're always just a good time. I can't say there's not like a money aspect to it based off the first two Venoms. I would be very curious if this was the plot going for Spider-Man 4 and if Venom 3 just fucking eats it, if they would again backtrack and go, oh, maybe this is not a good idea. Because I'm kind of, sounds mean, but I'm kind of hoping that happens because I just want Sony to step back and be like, okay, if we're going to make these films, we really need to take a second and put our best foot forward. They've not done that so far. So to me, I don't know if it's like a sure thing yet because that movie still has to come out next month and do well. And we've seen that before. Aquaman 2, Captain Marvel, just because they're big hits a couple of years ago, the audiences have changed. What they want has changed. So there's chances comes out and people go, I actually don't really care about Tom Hardy being in, a Spider-Man movie. But as of right now, those first two movies, big hits. So I'm just going to assume, let's say the third does the same thing. People love Venom. I can't, again, tell you if you are an executive, you come to me and say, hey, we have a movie with Tom Holland, Vincent D'Onofrio, and Charlie Cox, or we have a movie with him and Tom Hardy. What's going to do better? Well, it's the Tom Hardy one. It's that scenario again where it's just like, I think people would want to see them interact. I think people that don't know Venom do like Venom and think he would fit in the MCU and the whole jokiness and like there's some stuff there.
Before.
Yeah, he's been there for a cup of coffee or a cup of beer or whatever. No, I just really don't know. Other than like, is that just the way? Like that's how because he can be multiversal. Like that's how we get Venom and Spider-Man together. I guess I just feel like if the reason I was kind of hoping a street level is if we got so much big stuff going on with Doomsday and Secret Wars, like let him just have one adventure and then get him into the Avengers. I feel like it's gonna be weird if like okay he's in Doomsday and he's fighting Doom and then okay then he goes and fights Null. And I guess maybe though if maybe that's what happens like Doctor Doom like throws him to like a Null planet and just like. Maybe that's how it ends. The end credit is Spider-Man on like the symbiote planet or something, right? I don't know. So maybe there is ways. Again, it just does not excite for me at all, but I just think Disney and Sony, but it's particular Disney, I think they are looking into money and who knows? Maybe there's a situation where they wanted to do that 3 Spider-Man one and Toby and Andrew like actually don't want to do that again or they want to save it for Secret Wars because that was a room, just the Toby and Jackman stuff's back there. They're like, well, they want to make something meaningful, a connection, not just like a cameo scene. So that's good. So yeah, for me, I'm not a fan of this all, especially because like Mr. Negative, I pitched that last week. I think there's some money to be had there, especially with the director. I think we could have had some great times there. And again, even this report from the Scooper said like, it's not that this street level movie is dead. It just might be down the line. But I just feel like now it's like, Far From Home, No Way Home, and then if this is like him fighting a symbiote planet, it's like I don't know if you can go back anymore. I think if you were to gonna go back, this is the time of like it's a refresh, like Dylan said, the mind wipe. It's a new Spider-Man in a sense. But if it's just like, oh, he's right back to on a different planet, it's like I don't think we can ever go back, and I don't think we're gonna get that movie. I think they'll have Daredevil team up with like maybe Yelena or Hawkeye, but the Spider-Man boat might be missed, and I guess they just don't view him that way, and which sucks. But yeah, and the trailer is whatever it is. It's a Venom movie. It'll be what it is. It'll be like a solid 4 to 5 out of 10, and that'll be about it. I think Noel will be in this movie like at least more than the Madam Web suits, but I feel like he's gonna have like it's all gonna be sequel bait stuff. They might say it's The Last Dance, but I think it's gonna be setting up other stuff. And I don't love the Null character or like have the appreciation like Kirkland does, but I was with him of like, man, I really don't want them to do this right now because I just don't trust Sony. But it's kind of like, what can you do now, Venom? Right? You've done Carnage, unless you do Spider-Man. So yeah, I'm really hoping this stuff isn't true. But that was the other part of this rumor too. I didn't mention, but it just goes with it. that this is supposed. They're looking at it as like an Avengers type of film, and that's where it's like that also makes sense too of why that if Destin was going to do Avengers 4 and that was a massive movie, well, we're going to make Spider-Man 4 massive, so let's get Destin because he's a Spider-Man fan. He would do that, and it does. That would be a massive movie as Venom and Spider-Man fighting the symbiote god on a planet, but that just does not sound appealing to me at all. If someone wants to do a Venom, fine. Let that be Venom 4. Make Venom 4. Make him go to the symbiote planet. Cool. But I don't really want one of Tom Holland's like Spider-Man appearances be wasted this way. But again, it's for money. So it's like what we talked about Lord of the Rings last week, right? Then it all works out. So Taylor, the floor is yours for the last topic of the night here.
Yeah, I'm not big on the crossover idea of having this Venom mingle with Tom Hardy's Spider-Man. Or not Tom Hardy's Spider-Man, Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Fuck.
Tom Holland's Venom. Give me that little multiverse.
Now that would
switch
be
up.
cool. That'd be cool.
I picture like more Spider-Man 3 though, with fucking Eric Foreman.
Dancing in the streets. Yeah.
I wish that they would keep them separate. I think that Sony's really trying to push, and it's just like no, we don't need that. So. I think.
What if it's not? What if Feige's like, yeah, that sounds great. We can make a lot of money.
I don't think you should have Sony write it then. I think you should have.
They wouldn't. Not Spider-Man 4. It would probably be like a combo. I think they would be because the writers for Spider-Man 4 is the writers from the original trilogy here. So.
Okay, then yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's good bearings then. I think so. Null is going to be the rumor being Null is the villain in this new Venom movie. Obviously, he's not going to be defeated. They're just setting the stage in a big.
That's what it sounds
cliffhanger
like.
to-
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that would be. I mean, it'd be interesting. I don't know anything about Null. He does sound like a very kind of coolish
He's up
character.
your alley. He's a
He's
Taylor
up my
character
alley
for sure.
Okay, I like that. I don't like the CGI from the Venom movies, though. I feel like it's very different from the MCU CGI. So it would be interesting to see how they kind of mesh those two together. I feel like Sony just kind of. Now, Marvel obviously does do a lot of CGI, but
Log truck.
Log truck. Sony's CGI with at least with Venom, their Marvel verse movies, it feels like it has its own aesthetic to it, and I don't like it. It feels like it's really like you can tell it's CGI. At least with Marvel, it has a nice kind of better visualization. Like it feels better on my eyes when I'm looking at it. Like it tricks my brain a little bit more, and I can respect that and take it. When I look at the purple and the red colors of Morbius and fucking Daemon Targaryen there, it's something else. So yeah. I'm excited for this new movie though, believe it or not, and this will probably be the first Venom movie I join you guys for reviews because I wasn't there for the other two, so I'll be there for the non-spoilers review.
Was Carnage just a Kirkland Travis review? Little 2-man show
It
there?
was, yeah.
Do we see it together? I don't think so.
No, I saw it with Gwen. That was like her first live-action Marvel movie, unfortunately. But
God damn.
Taylor,
That's mean. That's cruel.
Doesn't
she
get much
wanted to
worse
go.
than that.
She wanted to go. She chose it. Taylor, you said you'll be there for the non-spoilers review. So when we switch over to spoilers, you're just gonna bounce out.
He made plans that evening.
He's like, I got 15 minutes. And that's all.
Yeah, I'll give you my thoughts and then I'm out of here. Yeah, no, that'll be in October. It's kind of weird. Like I don't think about it that way, but we got Joker and Venom in October. Like that's two big movies, but I just don't think
Going
about
at
it
it.
because Venom
Who's gonna have
just
the bigger box office.
I don't know. I'll just say Joker, but you never know. You never know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. I don't think we'll be back next week. You never know what could break, but speaking of that, we will be back in 2 weeks. We'll do a Joker prediction. We'll hopefully finally do the BS meter. I do have draft updates as well. So we have some stuff that's been lingering, but just stuff keeps happening and we just keep going on tangents too. So thank you everybody that was in the chat that led us on some other good tangents as well. Thank you everyone that sent in Patreon questions. We very much appreciate that. And thank you for listening. We hope you have a good rest of your week and we promise you it'll not be boring when you hear from